All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us on a Sunday afternoon for me, Sunday morning for some of you, Sunday night for some others. It's everywhere. And if you're listening to us from another galaxy, thanks you for joining us on whatever timeline you're on. It's great. But we're back with some more Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition Miclancihuatl Smiles mini campaign, I guess, at this point. We called it a one-shot originally, but we've played 2 sessions. We're on to our 3rd session at this point, and it's turning into a little mini campaign because it's been so fun. But we are back. We have our players. You can see everybody has returned. We'll have them all introduce themselves once again because it has been a while since we have got together with this group. But let's go around our virtual table and check in with everybody. I guess we'll start with, on my screen, Blaze is to my right. So Graybeard's Tavern from his Twitch channel is what you guys would know him from. But go ahead and tell us what you've been doing in Dungeons & Dragons since the last time we met in Miclancihuatl.
Well, I play 2 tabletop games, one at my house and one at work. And then I play in 3 SirLucien campaigns. And
Too many.
And a Shadowrun on Saturday mornings, which is right here on Twitch. And yeah, that's a lot of D&D, and it wouldn't be possible without the internet and you fine folks. So, and I'll be Blaze Emberheart, folk hero today.
Yeah. And what shows are you still doing on your channel right now?
I do Hearthstone Happy Hour generally on Friday nights, and then Sunday mornings, I didn't this morning, but on Sunday mornings I do the Crimson Court Darkest Dungeon, and we have a lot of fun with that. I get to play with a lot of props. So,
all right, great. So leading over next is playing your Retsy, but as PB Plays Inside, our YouTuber and starting streamer now for the last month at least. What have you been doing in Dungeons and Dragons since the last time we played?
I'm playing in 1 now. 1 SirLucien campaigns, Storm King's Thunder, having fun there. Also another homebrew by one of our friends. That's also on Mondays. You can see it on SirLucien's channel.
Mm-hmm.
I play Shadowrun Saturday mornings over on Graybeard's channel. Preparing for a Tuesday campaign starting next week. And do I do any other D&D stuff? I make some D&D videos sometimes. That's fun. I streamed trying to figure out how to do a quick character creation for a one-shot the other day. That was a fun experience. I want to do more of those. And that was the other thing I've done.
Yeah. Yeah, I apologize that everybody's in all these games that I force upon all my friends to play.
Torture.
Come up with your 17th character concept. We're jumping into another game. Let's go. All right, and then next to PB Plays Inside or Uretzi, we have Jordan. Don't pronounce that PH or he gets super mad. I did it the other day, and he was super. No, I'm just kidding. He's playing Eglath, but I'll let him introduce himself. Tell us what you've been up to.
Yeah, I run a YouTube channel. You can find it youtube.com/Jordan with a silent PH in the middle. And we do D&D lore there, kind of Forgotten Realms lore about the world of Dungeons & Dragons. As far as D&D stuff, always working on the channel. And then since we've last played, I wrote a one-shot called Dragon on the Mount, where a bunch of level 3 characters have to save a village from a vicious dragon. And I ran that with some players, and I'm kind of in the process of formatting that to work for to be put on the DM's Guild. So that's been a learning experience of just formatting and making sure things are written correctly, I guess.
Oh, I want to have a whole show about asking you questions on that later on then.
Oh yeah, and then we started a Dungeons & Dragons Saturday morning D&D show with Lucian, so that's been a lot of fun. We've got 2 episodes of that down.
Best Saturday morning show ever.
Yeah, it's awesome. You should come watch it. Saturdays, 9 a.m. Pacific. And then other than that, I've been running Tomb of Horrors, and I just wrapped that up with a bunch of my my friends on the table right next to me. We play at my house here, and that is now wrapped up. So we're going to go back to my homebrew world with some older characters, because we kind of took a pause because one of our players couldn't play. So we're like, let's do Tomb of Horrors instead, and it turned into this big thing where I was making videos on it and we're talking about it because it's kind of a weird module to run. But yeah, that's what I've been up to.
Awesome. And then our last, but definitely our best player that we have playing today. So you guys are in for a treat. Playing Griselda. Magpie, what have you been up to in Dungeons & Dragons lately?
I've started playing a campaign at my local game store, so that's really fun. The guys there are all quite experienced, and I'm still quite new, so they're helping to teach me the ropes, but it's super fun. So I do that on Wednesdays. I'm currently writing a D&D series about alignment for my YouTube channel, which is predominantly about Baldur's Gate, the Baldur's Gate series, but I'm starting to do more D&D videos as well, and I'm playing this, so...
Those are all good. Yeah, I've been watching the Baldur's Gates ones. Those are pretty good.
Thank you.
I would like to hear at some point, we should have her on the show, Jordan, maybe where we talk about playing in a game store experience, because that's like a third style of play that we don't really have covered as much, maybe, you know, that kind of interesting way to play. So cool. All right, well, that's our cast. I'm SirLucien. As you can hear, I'm running games for most of these nerds. I'm playing in games with half of the nerds. I want to play in games with all of them. I really want to be in their party, so at some point I'm going to make a character and force it to join their group just so I can have a character in with them. You know, the typical super DM character insert. But this has been great. I hope we get to keep playing more games. This is our third session. This is a culmination of a storyline that we started. So let me recap those of you viewers. Now you can watch the VODs or you can check it out on YouTube where I post these after the fact, and you can watch them and enjoy the story. But we have our adventurers who are part of the Salt Break Adventuring Company, and they were newer adventures originally, and we kind of picked them up going on some of their first adventures, and they had tracked down a shipwreck that had a mysterious chest missing, and when they tracked that down, they came upon a town that had been beset by some type of disease. They did some great sleuthing work, figured out that inside the chest were these masks that were powerful artifacts, and they were causing some issues. Then realized that it attacked their hometown of Saltbreak, so they raced back to help save Saltbreak. They were able to, in a great epic battle, I really enjoyed the whole thing with the dynamic lighting inside the big town map. They were able to defeat two of the people that were wearing the masks, recover the chest, but one at the very end of that got away. So there's yet a third mask out in the peninsula of Veland still causing trouble. And so we're going to pick up in session 3 where our players, this is going to be about a year down the line. They're going to be a little bit higher level than the last time you saw them. We're going to leave it to mystery and imagination and just one-off lines about what they've done in their stories or adventures during this time. But we pick up, and they have just received a summons back to the guild hall, as it sounds like some more information has been found about this missing mask that's been gone this whole year. Within the year, they've tried to track the mask down. A couple of times they've gotten close to the person, wherever this person who's wearing this mask is. They made it to the town. They were able to help save the town a little bit, but that person got away again 2 or 3 different times. So they're hoping that finally they can track this person down and get this mask, this final mask, secured in the chest so it can no longer cause trouble within the lands. And that's where we're going to kind of pick up. So our camera will open up in the town of Saltbreak, and we will have a scene where basically, our adventurers have gathered together at the office of Elder Marcella. Marcella runs the Saltbreak Adventuring Company, and she's kind of waving each of you in as you walk in, again, sitting down at her desk, and that's where we'll start. And she's like, so please sit down. And she pushes some refreshments toward you like a loving old grandmother, plates of shortbread and scones and pitchers of chilled fruit juices. And then while each of you kind of look over and choose your favorite delectable, she continues, it seems word has arrived from our network that another town has reported odd transformations in its citizens. And I believe this is where the third mask may be hiding. As she sits down. And you guys can, choose whatever fun and cool pastry she has there in front of you.
I take the most bitter the most bitter possible drink and piece of, not pastry, nothing sweet. I don't think Egglith would eat anything sweet.
Nice.
If I pick up like one of those hard like cookies that like you can slam against a table and it's still wouldn't break, and like just a tea with just like very little flavoring in it, just only the bag and that's what I eat.
Awesome. So sitting around the table, again, you have a map is kind of laid out in front of you, and you can kind of see where Saltbreak is along the southern coast of this peninsula that kind of reaches from west to east. And over on the east coast of the map you're looking at, you can see not only is the peninsula named Velen, but the main city of this place is also named Velen. And you can see where the pinpoint for that is. And apparently to the right is where Marcella is kind of pointing to this town that seems to be, they've gotten some more reports of people with the weird coral on them. That sounds to be like some of the same rumors that you've heard. And when you've gone to investigate these in the last year, by the time you get there, there's many villagers that have been turned. You have helped them out. You've tried to find where this person's hiding that has the mask, but they seem to escape each and every time you sneak up on this town or you get to this town, as if somehow they know you're coming or something's going on. And so she's pointing to the spot and she says, we've heard that this town of Bellport has a few rumors that they're seeing some strange happenings with the villagers, and we think it's time to send you back out and to see if you can investigate it.
No, we've been checking this out and running around to these. Have we ascertained any knowledge of why the guy with the mask is doing these hit and run tactics?
Yeah, from what you've been able to put together is he's running from you guys. It's like each time he or she seems to get a hidden base of operations, you find out about it, you go after them, and you force them out of their hiding spot once again. It's like every time they try to get set up and get going again, you're there within a week or two, and you're chasing them out. And it just seems like the desperation, you've gotten the rumor out how to better keep an eye out for where this person is showing up. So more and more of the towns in Velen are a lot more vigilant. You're giving them a lot less places to hide. And it seems like each of the places you've gone to, the desperation and how close you've caught them gets more and more each time. So like the first time you missed them by a week, the next time you might have missed them by 3 or 4 days, the last time maybe you only missed them by just a day, and each time you're getting closer and closer. They have less places to hide, and they seem to be getting more and more desperate.
Okay. How far away is this from our current location? Can I see it on the map?
Yeah, on the map it would be, you think it's probably going to be about a week's travel.
Okay.
And she kind of points that out. And she says, we've already secured you. You can either go by boat, which actually takes a little longer if you go out and around the peninsula and to come back, or you can go overland, and it's about a week overland. You're basically cutting up the peninsula kind of straight north to get to where this Bellport is.
Being of the Goliath barbarian tribe, I do not enjoy the sea very much. Goliaths were meant to stay on land.
Your party is silent.
I can't say I particularly like water either.
By land it is, then. Let's go. Blaze is like tucked a scone in a pocket, and he's like mowed like 2 of them, and had the biggest mug he could find of whatever, sweetest juice there was. And he's ready to march out the door.
Good.
Are there any supplies you think we need to get before we leave? Hopefully not a frivolous errand again. We can finally put an end to this madness.
Yeah, and what's nice about this is that over the last year, you've been a pretty successful adventuring group, and you've actually accumulated a pretty large sum of wealth as far as to buy more equipment, and they are able to provide artisans and good prices on things that you may need. And in fact, all of you have had the opportunity to either requisition or outright purchase new equipment. So if you're looking for new sets of armor or you're looking for new weapons, not necessarily of the magical variety. The one thing that happened this year for your group is that though you've been successful on the monetary side of it, it seems like every time you're at a place, the magic items and the magic that you're seeking has just not come to you. Almost you've begun to think maybe you've been cursed or something, as that all these adventures you go on are just you're getting gold and silver and coppers and gems, but you're not getting the storied, great swords or axes or armors or rings and things. And it seems odd to you, almost as if something is keeping them away from you. So during this time, you've had the chance to commission if you needed any armor. You have in your coffers upwards of anywhere from, probably like 12,000 gold to spend amongst the group if you wanted to upgrade your armor, upgrade a piece of equipment that you didn't have before, buy your provisions and all of that. So there's, and if you've had something commissioned, you can certainly kind of give us a description of what it looked like, and then we can take price won't really matter. You guys have enough money to have paid the artisans for this armor or weapons or whatever you would like to get. And so she nods to you. Oh, go ahead.
I think my weapons are fine, but if possible, I'd like to upgrade my armor from scale mail to half plate, giving me a +1 to AC. Yeah.
So maybe there's even just the message of, all of the things that you've had commissioned to be created are being delivered today, because they know you're going to be heading out. Everybody's heard the news that you're heading out once again to try to secure the third mask if possible. And so all of the artisans that had outlying orders have finished them up, put the last final touches on them, and are delivering them to where you're staying at in Saltbreak. So she's giving you the nod of, yep, it'll be at your house or room or wherever you're staying before you leave.
Awesome.
Can't wait to get my new breastplate.
Yeah, and then we'll have a little scene where you can describe those a little bit. So looking at the map, and she kind of also is delicately taking one of the pastries, one of the chocolate pastries, and she's like, "We know it's only rumors at the moment, but we really hope this is it, and we hope that you get there in time." And that we can finally put. And she says, I just checked on the chest and the 2 masks this morning. They're still locked away in our vault. Once we get the third one, we can really decide what needs to be done with these masks that seem to be causing so much trouble on the lands.
Hopefully there's a nearby volcano.
Marcella, do you think the city will be fine with the masks here if we leave? Will you be able to defend them?
Security is very tight and in place, and not many know that the masks are still here. And she kind of thinks about it and is like, well, we've been okay when you've gone on adventures in the last year so far. Nobody's been able to, we keep an eye on them definitely when you're out of town. So we can do the best that we can do.
Griselda, this might be I don't know if this is possible, but are there any magical wards or anything you can help put on this vault to protect it from thieves?
I can have a research and think about it just before.
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely something you could have been working on over the years' time of, like an alarm spell or something that notifies you if the door opens kind of thing. So yeah, we definitely could have something that that you would have, and probably helped by, I want to say it was his name is Hargrave?
Harrigan.
Harrigan, yeah. Or Harrington, right?
Is my mentor.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think the two of you would have been able to work on some magical alarm or at least notification that something's going on within where it's being secured. Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, she looks to you and says, "Well, I won't keep you. Definitely pick up your gear. Be prepared to set out, and good luck on your adventure."
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so you guys are kind of exiting the guild hall area, and you're about to kind of go your ways, and we'll let you guys talk a little bit about that in just a second. But just as you're kind of walking out, you see a 10-year-old who has a 3-stringed kind of instrument strapped to his back come running up, and Blaze, you recognize this little guy who comes up, and he's a young bard who is just fascinated with your stories, and always, whenever he sees you in town, always asking you questions and wanting you to recount some adventure you had been on. And you know him as Young Sparrow, and he comes running up, and he's like, Blaze, it looks like you're going. The town's talking that you're going out on an adventure again. Tell me, where are you going? What's happening? What's going on?
Once more, we're chasing down the masks. The third and final one, I hope.
Yeah, and everybody would know Sparrow quite a bit, as he has pestered most of you for stories, but he usually gravitates towards Blaze just because Blaze is the one that always is willing to answer lots of questions and tell lots of stories. And so he's always hanging on wherever Blaze is walking through the market or walking in town. Normally, Sparrowlock is not too far behind. And you've heard him play every now and then, and he's definitely needs practice being a bard, but he's on the route. He's a 10-year-old and seems to be in what's the word? Infatuated with your group, with your stories and such. And he's like, but what's going to happen this time? Is it going to be like, the last town you went to where you were able to defeat 10 of the infected on your own in that alley?
Why, of course. Hopefully this time, like I said, will be the last.
And will you have to save Griselda?
Well, Griselda's capable. And I look over at her frying pan like I do not want to get hit in the head with it. And it's very capable. Besides, Eglath's here to protect us all.
And he's like, and will Egleth say more than like 5 words?
I grunt.
Probably not, but his healing is painful but effective.
And he's like, well, but can I go with you this time? I mean, you need a bard with you, right? Every good adventuring group has a bard. You must need a bard.
Oh, my young friend, 6 more years. When you turn 16 and go through your rites of passage, we'll take you along.
He's like, but that's way too long. I'm more adult than half the people in this town already.
I don't doubt that, young lad, but really and truly, I lean down next to him, like whisper, and I say, I have a hard enough time keeping everyone else alive. I can't watch after you two.
Yeah, he gives you kind of like a knowing look, and then kind of as we see the group kind of split to go off, because you guys don't necessarily stay in the same places, and each of you can kind of tell us where you're staying or what makes sense for your character. But as you kind of wave to each other, you're going to go gather your gear. You can see Blaze starts heading off to where he is staying, and you see Sparrow's in tow asking him question after question. Where does Blaze stay in town? Where's Blaze hang out? Where's he pay his rent?
Oh, he definitely stays in a room above a tavern somewhere. And his housekeeping is leaves something to be desired, and he spends a lot of money on people doing his laundry for him and making his meals and whatnot. He lives the adventuring lifestyle.
Great. Yeah. All right. So as we see, kind of the camera follows you for a minute, and then we kind of have that snap pan as we see your Retzi kind of heading off to go get your gear. And where does your Retzi call home in Saltbreak?
Well, over the break, as Yaretzi has gotten more and more coin, she's worked toward making, if there wasn't an orphanage before, an orphanage, if there already was one, like helping make that much better where people would want to go, those who lived on the streets, and, using her connections to get people in there, and instead of staying on the streets. So she probably has a room somewhere in there, or a small corner that's hers that everybody respects. Nothing huge, nothing flashy. Most of her money goes to making that a better place. So she goes towards that building.
Yeah, and we see the camera as you're kind of walking through town, and you enter some of the alleyways that maybe not everybody else would enter, but you enter with ease. And slowly you keep gathering this just pack of children, urchins that are always constantly running around town, and they're the wretched poor that many just kind of turn their nose to, but all seem to kind of gravitate to wherever Yaretzi is, and they all just kind of like Sparrow have that respectful, worshipful look when they see Yaretzi. And you see, lots of them are coming up and they're talking. They're excited because they heard that the adventurers are going out again, that you're going to be leaving town, and there's questions coming from child after child. But you notice one or two of them towards the back of the pack of them seem to have a really worried look on their faces, and they seem to be whispering back and forth, and they're shaking their head, and each time they look at you, they have this really guilty look, and then they shake their head again, and they're staying towards the back, and you feel like these two couple of these urchins, and that seems really out of character for them.
So as I'm wading through children at this point, once we get near the back of the alley, I crouch down to their level because I'm pretty tall. I'm a pretty tall kid. And I crouch down and I, acquiesce. I'm like, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Yes, we're going out, but, keep it a secret. We don't want everyone to know. And I look over to a couple of the people I've been training, and I'm like, okay, that was a good try. And I hold out my hand for them to give me back the thing they stole from me.
Right.
I'm like, it was a good try, but I still felt your hand. And I look at, you're getting better, but I heard that jingle. And stuff like that. And then once they start, I start working my way through the crowd again near the back, and I get towards those guys who were, who look like super guilty. And I'm like, I ruffle their hair, and I'm like, so, what's up with you guys?
Yeah,
Why
so this
the long
is,
faces?
you know them as Little John and Betsy, and they are, everybody thinks they're siblings, but they were, orphan children, so nobody actually knows for sure, but everybody just thinks they're siblings because they look kind of similar, probably in the 8 or 9, age area. And you've known them for a while. They've been in town. Nobody really quite knows where their parents from. And Little John's is looking at Betsy, and Betsy's like, she kind of looks to you and she's like, but do you have to go? Can you just stay? And you see she has a really concerned look on her face.
And I'm like, this is what I've been doing for the past year. This is the mission. After we get this, the world and the town will be safe. And then I could stay here with you guys and play around, teach you how to be bigger and better. So yes, I'm sorry, but I do have to go.
Yeah, and you hear Little John's kind of says under his breath as you're kind of speaking intently to her and keeping that eye contact with her, he says, but it's not even safe in town.
What do you mean?
And when you say that, and Betsy's like, no, she shoos him, and she's like, nothing, Uretzi, nothing. She says, you're not, just stop.
It's like, no. You guys can trust me. What's wrong? What's happening in town?
And you see kind of a communication between the two of them. They're looking at each other, and Betsy's near kind of in tears because she doesn't want you to know something. John's, you can tell, wants to tell you something, but he's not. He's hesitant. Should we leave it to a persuasion roll? I know you don't want to roll.
Yeah.
No, you can have advantage. Give us a persuasion roll with advantage. See if you can coax this little secret out of them. Our first roll of the day. Oh, nailed it. Yeah, nailed it. So John's kind of looks at Betsy and he's like, I'm going to tell her. And Betsy says, no, she'll be hurt. And John says, no, I'm telling her. And he's like, well, over the last couple weeks, there's been this man, and he keeps telling us kids that we have to do things and steal things for him. And Betsy's like, but we weren't supposed to tell you. He said if we ever told any of the adults that he would hurt the adults, and we don't want you to be hurt, Uretzi, so we haven't told you.
I'm like, oh, you shouldn't have worried. Me and my friends are pretty strong. And don't worry, he was probably more scared about me hurting him. You shouldn't be afraid for me. Where have you seen this man?
Yeah, he's a dock worker sometimes, but most of the time he's just drunk and belligerent and knocks some of the kids around whenever they get in his way, as if he's the big man of the town. But he told us that he would hurt anybody if we told them, and so we just go around and we steal things here and there and have to give it to him.
And I'm like, well, that the orphanage is always open to you guys, and it's free to stay there, and you'll be safe there. I promise. We'll deal with him. Don't worry about it anymore, okay? And tell the other kids too. Tell them to hang out in the orphanage for as long as they need to feel safe. We'll deal with that man.
And they tell you that he's usually a dock worker that works down near one of the piers, and when he's not there, there's like a tavern bar that he's always at, and they always have been trying to avoid, or that's where they have to go to take whatever they found for him and give it to him, so that he won't continue to harass them or threaten to hurt anybody else. And you find out his name is Henry.
Good old Henry. All right. And I give them one more, rub of the head, and I say, as I stand back up, I'm like, okay, guys, I really do have to go. But remember, you're always safe. In my house is your house. Stay safe, guys. We'll deal with it, me and my friends.
Yeah, the big pack of kids kind of go running off, and they go off to do their thing to kind of let you go. And then do we follow you to the orphanage, or what does Uretzi do at this point?
Yeah, you see a very empathetic, compassionate look on her face as she sees the kids run away. But as soon as they're out of her line of sight, her gaze immediately hardens and becomes very, very cold at the thought of dealing with this Henry character. And you see her rush off to the orphanage to go pick up, her stuff and put on her armor and such, and then, runs back to meet her group.
All right. Was there anything, as far as the artisans, did you have anything that they were going to make for you or have prepared for you that would have been waiting in your room? Is there any other equipment that you want? Okay.
There is one thing that she has splurged on. She hasn't spent too much money on anything except, better armor, and a few more daggers, but those are pretty cheap. she did invest in a spyglass. She saw one of the dock workers back in the day, shiny little object one day, and always wanted one, and now she gets to have one of her own. So she
Nice.
did get a spyglass.
Nice. Yeah, yeah. Okay, great. So yeah, you gather your gear, and then we have a slow fade from that, and then we kind of zip back in time a little bit as Griselda is kind of leaving the group. We see the back of Blaze and young Sparrow Lock heading one way. We see Uretzi kind of walking off and then disappearing into an alleyway. And let's talk about Griselda. Where have you been staying in Salt Break?
So I returned home a couple of weeks ago from my mentor's tower, and I stayed at the family home, the Good Soup home. And the Good Soup home is a very strange looking building. It's kind of a mismatch of cottages and different styles, stone, thatch, basically where they've built extension upon extension for the growing family, because they're an enormous family, they're very poor, and they all have to live in one place. So they've just kind of built and built whatever they can find. So it's the weirdest looking building in town. So I've been staying there with my family. And there's a lot of people that live in that one house. A lot of halflings.
All right, great. And when you arrive, you see a lot of the good soups are there. You smell all of the smells of baking and cooking throughout the day that goes on. You see all of the rambunctiousness in the younger good soups. You see the older good soups are in a room smoking pipes or telling the same stories that they always tell. You see many of them are cleaning or doing something. It's a very family home scene, as you kind of come in, and each has their greeting towards you, and it seems like just like a very family kind of opening. And then one of them mentions that you had received a package earlier today, but they put it on your bed, so there's a package waiting for you.
Okay. So I go to open my package and I realise that it's finally come, and I'm really excited. During the course of the year, I've spent a lot of my earnings upon a ring that stops me from setting fire to myself when I cook, because I quite often use magic to set my fires, and I have accidents and all my clothes have holes in them. So I invested in a ring of fire protection.
Sure, yeah, that'd be great. So that is there, but there's also another package, one that you didn't expect, also sitting on the bed. And it's in the shape of a wrapped square, rectangle-ish, maybe a foot.
Okay. So I open this package, and
yeah. So there's a note with it, and as you open it up, it's a book that's been wrapped in some type, just like parcel paper, almost like you would have had from if it was a meat or something that you got from the deli type thing or the butchery. And in it is a book, hardened leather, looks quite old, and the message is from your mentor that says, it was a short note. Where was it? I had it written down. Oh yeah, it says, something interesting came my way. Thought you might find it useful, and it's in the script that you recognize as your mentor, which I have it written down as Harrington, but you're saying what was his name again?
It's Harrigan.
Harrigan. Let me change that. Harrigan. There we go. And you see his signature at the bottom, and there's this book, and again, looks old, probably about squarish, maybe a 5-pound book. Looks pretty thick, lots of vellum pages in it. It seems like a little clasp on the top of it holds it closed.
Wow, this is a pretty hefty book. And I pick it up, and because I've got quite a small stature, it feels a lot heavier for me than it would for the average human. And quite a few of my siblings are very curious, and they're trying to come and have a look, and I'm pushing them away. trying to read this book.
Yeah, and what you notice right away is the clasp itself, you can't seem to just pull it open. Like it doesn't seem to just come apart.
Can I do an Arcana check?
Yeah, definitely.
See if I can remember how to do this. How do I get my dice roller up again?
So on your character sheet there, you should just be able to click the word Arcana, and it should roll it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 15. So you recognize, looking at this, it reminds you of a spell book of some sort, and you think the clasp is probably some type of magic lock.
Right.
And as you're looking at it, you're kind of fiddling with it, and you think that if you keep working at this and you keep studying it and you keep trying different things, you'll probably be eventually able to open it. But it feels like it's one of those things that'll take you some time. And it reminds you, the minute you see that, it reminds you of how your mentor usually trains you, is that he gives you things that you're not quite ready for, and that makes you work before you can actually get whatever he's trying to teach you. So you just have this flash of, a smile on your mentor's face, and the idea that he sent this to you knowing you wouldn't be able to open it right away. You would have to work at it for some time before you would finally be able to open it.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. And all right, so you gather your equipment and you say your goodbyes, and you talk to your family members just before you're going to head out and leave. They all seem excited. Most of them are excited for you because they all trust you and they all look up to you, and it's great how well you've done. A little concern, and maybe some of the older ones, they always have that little, she's going out again, adventures, life is tough. But they trust you and they have faith in you, and they always make sure they try to support you and give you as much support as possible. So a very kind of loving family scene. And then our camera will kind of fade a little bit out of that cheery scene, and we move to our last scene of our Goliath cleric trotting through the streets of Saltbreak. Where has he been staying, and where are you headed?
If we've gotten some money, I probably took that money and invested in a small building to create a temple, like a small little temple, little shrine to Leviatar.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also going to say that there was a homeless guy that knew, and I saw him, and I'm just like, this man has known pain. He sleeps outside on the ground. Like, he has known pain. Let me bring him into the fold. And so I'm going to go back to that temple. And as I walk in, I'm going to say that my this homeless guy that I've kind of raised into becoming a priest of Loviatar. He's not a priest yet, but he's definitely worshiping and what have you. He's there, and I walk in and I say, "It's time. I have to leave again."
Yeah, and real matter-of-factly, he starts going and gathering the stuff that you would need and starts presenting it to you. All of it's cleaned, all of it's ready to go. He's gives you the nod of, I will make sure everything stays in order. Very matter-of-fact, but also very few words. Person that doesn't seem to speak, maybe has a little bit of a stutter, and brings the stuff to you. So is there anything that the artisans of Saltbreak have put together for Eglath?
Yes. So some half plate armor has shown up, and it's got like an indented impression of the symbol of Loviatar, which is like a cat of nine tails that's got kind of like bone tip ends. And so there's this fan of a whip on that is impressed into the armor. And then I think also the 9, which was the magic item that you gave me, which was like a whip that I have. I think that was such an important cleric artifact to me and my faith that we have it like up on the wall. And I even tell my friend or the priest here that I'm like, I'm gonna have to take that as well. We're gonna have to I think this is gonna be such a dangerous mission that I'm gonna need to take the 9 with me. And he'll nod and be like, of course.
Yeah. He
So
reverently goes and gets it. It's almost ritualistic in the way that it's presented, and that the way he grabs it and he brings it to you and presents it to you. And it's very formalized, very lots of kind of like procedure behind the whole thing. Yeah. All right. Has the shrine or church or temple of Leviatar, has it gained any purchase in Saltbreak? How's the congregation, or is it that style of place, or is it just a place where somebody comes and says one prayer and they leave? Is it a place where there are sermons? Is it what's going on in this place?
No sermons. There's I don't give sermons or whatever, but anybody's welcome. And I think we have a lot of like more destitute and homeless people will come in. People that are on they've had very bad luck. And I say that this is probably to them a blessing of Leviatar, and they need to embrace this pain. And so they're very welcome to stay with us. So we maybe have a few like cots around, where very uncomfortable cots, but in the back, places for people to stay. People kind of come and go and leave prayers. Some people leave money, but I've got plenty of money to keep the place up and running. So.
Yeah, and there's probably plenty of travelers from other areas that may hear about it and come, and they maybe know of Leviatar from other places where it's maybe more prominent. And so you'll get a lot of transient kind of people coming in and out.
I imagine it as like a home base too. Like we leave probably and go into the city a lot to preach Leviatar and kind of bring more people into the fold.
Yeah, great. All right, so we're going to kind of flash forward to the group has gathered their equipment. They stride through the streets heading towards maybe the front of the guild house to meet up again, actually in full gear now. And you can see the townsfolk kind of recognize you, and everybody gives the waves and the hiya as you guys are heading out. Cause now it looks like you're in your battle clothes, you're in your adventuring stuff. And this is like when the superheroes put the costumes on, it's like, it's happening now, and everybody, so in this town, everybody supports the Saltbreak Adventuring Company, so much that you're kind of like minor celebrities, within the town. So you guys kind of meet back up in front of the guild house, and, you're all together as the camera comes into the scene, and you guys are all together.
As we get together, as everyone arrives, I'm like, I know this is an extremely pressing matter, but what about a quick warm-up before we leave? I have word that there is a dock worker who thinks he's very big and strong, who's been forcing children to steal for him and using scare tactics to get them to not say anything to anyone. What would you say if we just went to this location that the kids tell me that they've been going to give him things, and just, telling him our thoughts on that?
I think we should pay him a visit.
We'll straighten him out.
I nod and grunt.
All right, so yeah, you guys head down towards the harbor area, and in the harbor there's 4 or 5 docks, and Uretzi, you're able to talk to a few of the workers, many that you've seen before or have talked to before. Blaze, you've known some of them from the different taverns and places that you hang out. And even Egleth, you would know a few that have come to the temple. And they as you're trying to find this Henry and trying to get a description of him, it seems like he's not out in the docks at the moment. It looks like he wasn't able to find a job in the morning, so they all kind of think that he's probably over at one of the taverns. And there's kind of like a row of taverns near the dock area where a lot of the kind of blue-collar class go. And you kind of narrow it down, and you find one of these kind of rundown, which is called the Rusty Anchor. And that's where he was last seen, like an hour ago or something is what you've heard.
What time is it?
This
Or
is
what time of day?
probably mid-morning.
Hmm.
So bright and early. You can see the seagulls flying all around. There's lots of bustling going on. But a lot of times, depending on how many ships are in, maybe how much workers they need. And so at a lot of times, if there's not enough ships, then there's a lot of workers who don't work that day if they're doing dock work. And so, however they spend their time is how they spend their time.
Well,
So,
to the tavern.
yeah, off to the tavern.
Yeah, so the Rusty Anchor is pretty worn down. Obviously, been here a long time. May have had a couple of different names, different owners over the time. And you kind of push your way in, and it's, as soon as you go in, it's just like poorly lit. It's one of those kind of hole-in-the-wall drinking places where lighting is terrible, the beer is terrible. It's not a place of reverie and merriment. It's a place of drinking your sorrows away, or drinking why the world treats you horribly away type place. and you see a few dock workers here, probably a little more than you would have thought, just because it seemed there's only a couple of ships currently in the dock. And so it looks like maybe there's a bunch of them, just sitting here, and they probably look like they're people that, their lifestyle is work and then go to the bar type thing, kind of lifestyle. And you see Henry kind of, the description you got, he's bigger than most of them. He's kind of a big burly guy. Obviously works the docks. You can see is worse that eyes are red rimmed. Obviously been drinking most of the morning without having any job. And there's a couple there that are drinking near him and around him, but it's all pretty quiet in the place. It seems like people come here to be left alone, or they don't really socialize as much. And he's at a table with just a couple. They're not much of a conversation going on, but they're just kind of sharing a table.
I look over to my friends, and I'm like, and I point them out with my head. I'm like, this is that one.
I just shout really loud, Henry.
Yeah, and you see all the heads in the place turn. You see the bartender's hands kind of go below the tabletop, and everybody's moving slowly. And then Henry at the back kind of looks over and sees all of you, and he kind of has to squint a little bit. They're all pretty much humans in here, and it's super dark-ish. There's not a lot of good light. And he's like, "Aye, what you want?"
I say, we have somebody who wants to speak with you.
So, but then bring me a beer if you want me to talk with ye.
I go up to the tavern keeper, and I'm like, give me a pint of ale, a nice glass.
And he looks at you and he goes, "Now, Uretzi, we don't want any trouble." As he's slowly pouring it for you, we don't want any trouble. As he hands it kind of over to you.
I'm like, well, just look for me after this this adventure. And I go over to Henry. I put one hand on one of his shoulders, and I'm like, "Hey, Henry, here's your beer." I grab the beer and I slam it against his head.
Oh, nice. So the mug just itself, and this is not a place that would even have glass at this point. So it's like this wooden flagon, maybe with a tiny bit of dented metal on it, smashes into Henry, and the beer goes all over. And you see the two other guys kind of kick away from the table in surprise, and Henry's just kind of spluttering and has fallen over. The chair is kind of just fallen back over. And he's kind of trying to wipe himself off and get up. He's like, "What you go and do that for?"
I'm like, well, I say in a very loud voice, I hear that Henry, the big man, has been forcing children to do and steal for him. Apparently he can't find any other way to get any money, it seems. Exploiting children for his own benefits.
Yeah, and you hear the scraping of all the chairs as people are moving away from whatever's happening. And you see him kind of squint his eyes, they're pretty beady, and there's a meanness to it. And he kind of growls in a lower voice, and he says, "Don't test me, little one. You won't like it."
Oh, Henry. Oh, it's you who's not gonna like it. And
He tries to surprise you by grabbing a chair, and he's going to swing it at you. But you can tell he's inebriated, and he's not an actual fighter. Like, you recognize that immediately. You've seen what people who know how to fight look like. You are in the company of people who know how to fight, and you recognize immediately that this is not one of those types of people as he swings wildly, and you're able to kind of just duck around as the chair misses.
like, oh, Henry, don't make more of a mess in this fine establishment. Henry.
Yeah, he's just trying to swing it a couple of times, and it's just easy to kind of dodge away from it. And he's trying. He's swinging as hard as he can, but he's just not getting to you.
Blaze is smirking, but he's also like looking around like at everyone else like, don't even think about stepping in on this.
Oh, you can tell immediately that nobody likes this guy at all. Like, there's nobody in here that's like, hey, you guys shouldn't do that.
I look over and I'm like, Elga, can you do me the favor and, help me bring out the trash? I wouldn't want to stain anything inside of here.
Yes, and I walk over broodingly, and I pick him up if possible.
Yeah. Go ahead and let's do just a grapple roll. So
like
you
athletics?
get to use, you get to use athletics, and he's just gonna roll a straight roll. Okay. He has no bonuses. Oh yeah, you're able to. You kind of, as he swings the chair, you catch the chair in midair, kind of yank it out of his hand, and you set it down, and you just kind of grab him by like the scruff of the back of his neck. Mm-hmm. And you can tell he's probably got some strength to him, but no technique. He's not a fighter. He's not any of that. He's just somebody who's been big most his life, And so as you're dragging him outside, and the bartender has this look of relief as it doesn't look like there'll be any damage that he has to somehow find a way to pay for in this rundown tavern of his, as you guys head out to the bright sun of the mid-morning day.
As Blaze will be the last one out the door, and I'll fling a couple coin at the bartender and be like, "Around on the house from the Salt Break Company."
And normally, like, you would do that, and you're used to the places that would give you like a hurrah. And this place, you just see everybody move their chairs back, move the table back, and it's just silence again. It's just like they're just happy to be left alone once again, and that's it.
All right.
As we roundabout, and you're grappling him, Elga. I lead you down to like an alley. That's more appropriate for things about to happen. And I'm like, Henry, this all could have not happened if you had just not been a dick.
And he's
Henry.
like, yeah, and you just hear him kind of under his breath. He's like, "Oh, sure, 4-on-1."
I'm at the end. Blaze is at the end of the alley, like arms folded, and he's just, anyone who walks by, "Good day, citizen. Move along. Nothing to see here."
As I've got this flailing guy in my arms.
Yeah, now he's kind of like
here,
subdued. Like he realizes that
Okay.
he can't break your grip, and he's just kind of like, he's just standing there now, waiting to see what's going to happen.
And I go up to him. I look down on him. I'm assuming I'm taller than him. And I just like, I slap his cheek a little bit. I'm like, Henry, didn't anyone ever tell you not to pick on anyone? That's not your own size. And I take out my nice dagger of returning. And I just start, I start pacing in front of him. I'm like, now, what are we going to do with you, Henry? You threatened my children. You forced them to do things they didn't want to do, and you made them scared. And Henry, that's not something I take kindly to.
Yeah, and when he sees the dagger, you see him kind of put his hands up, and he's like, "Now, come on, this doesn't have to go that far. What's going on now? Come on." You can tell that this was a person who thought maybe he was going to get beat up a little bit, but now he's starting to worry that, wait a minute, this might be something different. And he's kind of put his hands up, and he's looking at each of you to try to find some sympathetic look towards him, even if he can't find it. And he's just like, "What's going? Come on now. What are you doing?"
I've got my back to the whole scene. I'm standing at the end of the alley, keeping bystanders away. So I'm not even interacting.
I think I'm even looking at Yuretsi being like, are we doing this? Like, this was not, thought we were just going to have some stern words, but I just kind of give her that look.
Yeah, and I'm like, Henry. And I point off to the down the alleyway to like, I'm assuming there's like a barrel or something with something on top of it. And I'm like, do you see that rotting apple on top of that barrel over there?
He gives you a head shake.
And it's like, I wait for him to turn, and as he's turning his head, I throw the dagger straight at the apple. And I'm like, Henry, I would hate for that to be you. I'm not someone who likes to hurt people. But if you threaten my children, I won't hesitate, Henry. So how about this? How about you fuck off on the next ship and go be the bane in the bottom rust of a barrel somewhere else, Henry. If I hear you've done anything to any of the children in this town, Henry, that apple over there, and I command the dagger back into my hand, and I pointed at him. I'm like, "Will be you."
Yeah, I think we need a with advantage intimidation roll to really secure this. All right, yeah. 11's good. Yep, you didn't need much. Didn't need much. 11's good. So yeah, you see him kind of. He almost seems visibly smaller than he did before. You can tell that he is very afraid of the dagger, and he's taking you very seriously. And he kind of gives you the nod. He's like, "All right, I'm leaving. Just let me go."
All right, Henry. That's what I like to hear, and I, do the pat on the cheek again, just a little bit harder. And I'm like, "Here, have a copper on me." I just I'm like, we can let the man go. I'm sure he won't cause any more trouble.
Yeah, and once Egleth lets him go, he kind of gives you all kind of the look, and it's the kind of the mean-spirited look, and then he kind of shuffles off down the alleyway and starts heading out away, just kind of down the rest of the walkways.
As he leaves and he's out of earshot and just like out of view, just shaking. I'm like, hate dealing with people like that. They're so, gross. Just like, ugh.
You're quite good at it, for someone who doesn't like it.
All right, and I think what we'll do with that is you guys are kind of exiting the alleyway and moving back into the crowds of the downtown or the downport area. We'll fade our camera out for a moment. We'll take our first 5-minute break of the day, and then we'll come back and we'll jump back into our adventure and see where it takes us next. So good job, guys.
Sweet.
We'll be back in just a moment. All right, we're back. Thanks for joining us there in chat. We're going to jump back into our story. So, as we leave the bustling town of Saltbreak and you guys start heading out on your northward journey through the forests of Velan towards this town that you've heard of called Bellport. Sounds like it might be a town, maybe a small village. You're not quite sure. And I was wondering about one of the things we've talked about before, way back in our first session, how you guys make camp and you set up watches and such. One thing we didn't ask, I would really think we should know is, for Eglath, how do you talk to your goddess, or how do you worship, or how do you pray, or how do you do what is it that you do during? Is it a daily thing? Is it more than once a day? Tell us a little bit about that.
So there's a morning ritual of before putting on armor and before putting on all of that stuff. I have like a small little like whip, and it's one of those like hitting the back of yourself with this whip and offering prayers at the same time. It's nothing super painful, like I'm not breaking skin or anything, but it's definitely causing some pain. And that's when it's the first thing when I wake up in the morning, and that's what I do to pray for spells for the day. And
it's always in the morning.
Give my offering to Leviatar.
Yeah, nice. Okay. So heading out, let's talk a little bit about marching order just for a second too. You guys go ahead and remind us, because I know it's been a few part of our adventure since we've seen this. Is there anybody out front? Is everybody just walking together as a group down the road? What's
Do we
it
have
look
horses
like?
or anything? Are we?
You can if you want.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'll be totally down.
Okay.
Who doesn't want to see a cat on a horse?
Yeah.
Generally, Blaze will be in front unless Yuretsi is scouting.
Yeah, and do all of you have training to ride horses? Is that something?
Probably not for combat and stuff, but I think for
Yeah.
general
For travel,
getting
yeah.
around travel.
Cool. So probably midday, you get out of town. You get a full day's travel. You make your first camp. You go through your normal motions of setting up camp, laying down your bedrolls, starting your campfire, I assume. It seems, trying to remember, Griselda always made like a dinner for everybody. Was that what I remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we kind of have that scene. We go through the watches. The night goes by pretty quietly. It seems like a normal kind of camping kind of trip. You're near the road. You're not seeing too much traffic heading north. And we kind of break up into our next day. And it's probably mid-morning that... Let me start rolling some dice here. Oh, okay. So that's not a good roll. So does anybody have a passive perception above 10?
Yes.
11.
Okay.
17.
Yes.
I think all of us do because
Yeah.
passive perception is 10. Yeah.
Starts at 10, I think. Yeah.
Who has the highest?
I've got a 14
I have a
passive.
17.
Yeah, 13.
Okay, so Yuretsi, and all of you will probably pick it up a little bit. Yuretsi is the first one to pick it up. You think you see movement off behind and probably to your right of the road. Now, you guys are just kind of riding your horses, and traveling on horses is never like galloping along. That's only, typically when you push your horse for that, it's in an emergency, or, it's normally just walking the horses. And that's what gets them the ability to be able to walk for 8 hours or 9 hours before you have to rest them. So it's really just a walk. You guys aren't really barreling down a road, but you keep seeing a shadow of movement behind and to the right of your group following you, what it seems like. But you're not
it
quite
pretty
sure
thick
what you're seeing.
Jungle, forest.
Yeah, it's a pretty pretty solid woods. It's not jungle. Okay. It's definitely like woods for sure. Lots of bushes, lots of undergrowth. If you're not on the road, it would be tough traveling through it, trying to break your own trail kind of thing. But you definitely see it, and you probably pick it up first. And by you kind of taking a look at it, the others realize, wait a minute, we've also been seeing something that way too. And you've all been seeing something's shadowing you. Something's following you and trying to stay hidden to the back and to the right.
Yuretsi, you see that? What do your cat eyes see?
I see, seems that we may have some company to our right and behind us.
Do you want to fall back and loop around and maybe we can come at it from both sides?
Oh, I like that idea. Yes. Let's do it.
All right,
I slowly get off my horse and kind of get a weapon ready.
Mm-hmm.
All right, others?
Yep.
Sure. I'll step down and I'll start taking the reins of everyone else's horses, of their horses, so that we don't lose our horses, since they decided they were going to do this pincer move.
Yeah, okay. And are you going to try to sneak into these woods? We'll make a stealth roll to see if you sneak away into the woods and surprise this thing, or are you just crashing into the woods?
Who are you talking to? Sorry.
Either one of you that are going to go into the woods.
I'm going to stay on the road and kind of wait for Yuretsi to loop around.
Okay.
And maybe she'll give me like a bird call signal, and that's when I'll walk in. I'm not stealthy. In fact, I have disadvantage on stealth checks. So, in my new armor.
Yeah. I, in theory, am stealthy.
All right.
So
I'm assuming that he'll see me and is kind of like watching me and will not expect you from behind, and we can get a clear picture as to what it is. Mm-hmm. So maybe you have like an elk call for it's good, don't come barging in, or a bird call for Russian, and and I'll trust you.
All right, I will absolutely do that. So I will attempt to sneak around in a sweet flank.
Oh, wow.
You could just walk up. They would never see you. It's like you're in the blind spot of their eyes. Like you can't see them. So we see Yuretsi kind of, and what ends up working out is as Blaze grabs the horses kind of turn sideways on the road, almost blocking it a little bit, which gives you the perfect opportunity to break line of sight with anything that's behind you, slip into the bushes, into the trees, moving from branch to branch, shadow to shadow. You guys don't even see you don't hear anything. You don't even see her disappear. 1 second she was there. The next second she's gone. And she did it so well that you might not know if she ever existed. Maybe she was a figment of your imagination at this point. And you kind of loop back around, and you can hear and you see kind of a bush where it appears to be some type of form is hiding at that bush where the group is up on the road as you're kind of circling back around. And as you get a little bit closer, you realize it's young Sparrow with his loot strapped to his back. And he has been following you guys for a day. He's hiding behind the bush as if they can't see him at the moment. He has no clue you're there.
Let's see. I back up a little bit away from him and I make the non-threatening sound, like don't even worry about it.
Okay.
And I pop up. I walk up behind him and I grab the back of his shoulders and I go, boo.
Oh yeah. He freaks. He gives the whole super scared, lets out a yell, and then starts running towards the road, running away from you. It like takes him 5 to 10 seconds to realize it's even you as he's bursting through the bushes and then stumbles onto the road. And that's when all of you guys see that Sparrow has followed you down the road.
I'm just laughing as I walk out from behind him and I say, well, it seems we found ourselves a straggler.
and I shake my head with one of those tisk tisk tisk.
And he's like, don't be mad, Blaze. Now, don't be mad.
I take the scone from my pocket from earlier, and I fling it at him, and I'm like, I thought you might be along. Hope you brought water.
And he has this hopeful look like, you're going to let me stay?
Yeah.
Oh.
All
At
right.
this point, he's probably safer with us than sending him back by
Exactly.
himself.
Yep.
You're going to take him to the... All right. I love it. All right. So, so he kind of... We have young Sparrow Locke. His last name is Locke, Locke. Joins the group. Doesn't have a horse. He's been... And you can tell he's pretty tired because he's been having to try to keep up with you guys, but his natural youngest exuberance has allowed him just to keep pace with you. It probably would not have lasted for more than another day or so, but he was able to keep up with you, and he kind of walks alongside Blaze as you guys get back onto the road.
I look at Yuretsi or Griselda. Griselda, do you have a pony, like not a young horse, but a riding pony, or do you have a horse?
It's a Shetland pony. It's a
Okay.
shaggy, hardy.
I look at playing a dwarf most of the time. I know the poniness. Yuretsi, I look at you and I'm like, can you help him out? Because I'm sure Blaze and Eggless horses are having a time of it with all our gear and armor and whatnot. So,
And I'm like, sure. And I get him on, and I have him go in front of me so he can see where we're going.
Yeah.
Enjoy
And so
the
he pulls his loot out and he has it in front so it doesn't harm your way of thing. And he seems to just be ecstatic now that he's on an adventure and he's with the adventurers and he's an adventurer himself and he's playing the lute. And Yuretsi, the one thing that immediately grabs you is it's out of tune. And so this whole trip, he's trying to play these songs that he's writing, a 10-year-old. And he's actually pretty good at the lyrics part. Like he's come up with some clever ways to rhyme things and use words that you wouldn't think maybe that the 10-year-old would actually know. But the only problem has been that his lute has been out of tune the entire time that you're traveling.
Let's see. As we travel, I have a bell with me. And so it's just to make it like the rest of the technological world, we'll say it's tuned to like an A, which is a common tuning string on stringed instruments. So I'm like, hey, buddy, here's a bell. Do me a favor. I'm going to play it and, try and match this pitch with your lute. You know, those things I think you move them.
Oh, did I lose anybody?
not me.
I'm here.
If we lost... Oh,
I got mid-sentence PB.
hold on.
Yeah.
I've lost Phoebe. I can't hear her.
Yep, we'll give her a sec. Yep, there's the A. The tuning fork. So we'll continue with the tuning scene while she probably gets logged back in. And
One of those things where it's so aggravating and it just gets under your skin.
well,
But
and
secretly
yeah.
it's a silent. I look at it as a silent prayer to Leviatar. I'm just like, this is something to endure. It's painful.
Yeah, you're like enjoying
endure
it. Yeah.
It's
This
one
is
of
a
your
test for my
trials.
goddess.
And some people might not recognize it. Like if they don't
Yeah.
necessarily hear it, they might not even know. But like anybody that's attuned to it would know. And then that's really good.
Blaze has no idea. He's like, good songs.
I'm going on an adventure. And you're like,
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah. Yeah, and then when he finally does get it in tune, like maybe there's this moment that Eggleth, you're like, oh, now it's pleasant. Mm.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay,
Bah.
sure.
Cool. So we'll continue on down the road, and you guys travel for another couple of days. Are you going to keep him with you? You taking him back, or what's going to happen?
Blaze, I think it's your call. Like, I don't want to put him in danger.
Yeah,
I don't know if we want to lose time heading back, though.
He's on an adventure.
Okay. So,
But then I look at him and I'm like, but if you die, I'll kill you.
I'll kill you myself.
All right.
Do I like know his parents and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. All of you he's pretty popular, precocious kid that lives in Salt Break. Really, everybody can tell he's going to be a bard or a troubadour at some point. He just has that drive in him to play music and tell stories. And they let him play in the taverns and bars, even though that's not normally a place, but just because they know he's so into it and he's so innocent about wanting to be that. And we'll travel down for several days. 5 days are going to go by as you begin to get closer. And you've stopped at a couple of villages and talked to some villagers on the way. You've talked to some town folks on the way, and just for directions and such. And they're telling you, that the village that you're looking for is to the north. You keep going. You take the right fork here, and then make sure you go down the old tottered road, and that'll bring you to this place. And then you'll go this way. And so you're getting kind of directions on the way. It does sound like it's a smaller village. It doesn't sound like it's a big town. And a lot of these places, when you stop in, they're either places you've passed through before, and you've talked to other people, and they all are kind of know you because you're the group that has put out the word, keep the eye out for infected villagers. Because wherever these infected villagers pop up, this person, is not far to follow. And they're always like, we haven't had any. We made sure everybody kind of checks in with their neighbors quite often. We haven't had any trouble. As you kind of gather a little bit of information, and you continue to head northward to Bellport. Let's see if we give her... I see she's muted. Are you back, PB?
I am on Discord on my tablet while I wait for my modem to restart.
Okay.
But I'm here.
Okay. And so we're going to continue on. And so right about evening, sun is starting to set. And actually, it's not quite down yet, but because you're in this denser kind of forest area, it's already kind of gotten dark in the forest. At least it's like a twilight type time. And you see just towards the end of this, the trees kind of break a little bit, and you get your first sight of the town as the sun is setting, and you see just a town up to the north of you on the road. And we're going to switch you over to the next little spot. So let's bring you to our little sleepy town of Bellport.
And Bellport's the place where we heard the reports, right?
The rumors.
Okay. So as we're approaching, as we're getting close, Blaze starts into this, once more, adventurers, we go forth and we're going to fight. And Egleth, your whip and spells will keep us going. Griselda, block us with magic. He just goes right into this battle speech. And I'm going to use my inspiring leader ability that I picked up along the way. And everybody gets 10 temporary hit points.
Cool.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Including young Locke.
Okay.
Sparrow Locke. Unfortunately, I don't get them.
Unfortunately. So I put you on the map, but that doesn't necessarily mean you guys are this close to the town. You can still be several hundred yards down the road from the first cottage that you see or the first building that you come across. And then I'll let you guys... I just wanted to put you on the map so you can see it. It has gotten dark. So for those of you that have night vision, you should be able to see. If you don't have night vision, you're going to have to figure out what you're going to do, because you can tell the town is up ahead, but it's gotten pretty dark already tonight. The moon is not out. It's a kind of a cloud-covered evening, and it's just like out in the middle where there's almost no lights. You don't see hardly any lights or any lights at the moment coming from the town. It just looks dark and quiet as you kind of are coming up to it.
Do I have dark vision? I
As a,
don't think I do.
as I say, as a Goliath, you shouldn't. Yoretzi's probably the only one that does.
Yeah, probably.
So I'm gonna cast light on. Can I cast light? Yes, I'll cast light on my my maul, and I'll have it out and kind of use it like as a torch.
Okay.
Oh, I do have dark vision.
Let's see how much.
And then are
light
we
sheds.
moving forward? Are we waiting for Yoretzi to hop back on with her modem?
And Griselda, do you have the light cantrip by chance?
Yes. I light up my ladle
All right.
and I hold it up like a torch.
Okay, so I'll make adjustments. So right now, in my mind, you guys are on the road on your horses, but you're probably 200 or 300 yards further south at the moment, looking forward at the town. You kind of know it's up there. You saw it just as the sun was going down, and as the twilight turned from, that bluish, purplish black all the way to black, and it's gotten pretty dark. And at this point, your eyes, are trying to adjust, but it can't even see the shapes of the buildings. But I figure you've stopped, and you're probably a couple hundred yards from the first building that you can see and then you guys can make your plans or do what you want to do at this point as your lights come on, and do whatever you want as I'm adjusting the tokens.
Blaze, your
Yes.
inspiring leadership has been quite inspiring. I would like to offer a gift to you, and I put my hand on your shoulder, and I cast False Life, and you get 1d4 plus 4 temporary hit points.
All right. You gonna roll it?
Yep.
All right.
So you get 7 temporary hit points.
Nice. And Blaze has we've obviously adventured together. Blaze squints for the pain because he knows that that he's gonna get it, but the pain comes with it, and he's like,
Yeah.
"Thank you, chum." Thanks.
Don't thank me. Thank my goddess.
Thank the goddess.
And I think, Yoretzi, your dark vision is 60 feet, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I think I've got you set correctly. Okay, I think everybody's set right. So at this point, it's up to you guys on what you want to do. You're standing in the road. You've got your light spells on. You've cast some pre-spells.
Perhaps we should tie up the horses nearby. I don't think we need to lead them into danger as long as we know that they're here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're getting a kind of an ominous feel. You kind of expected to see lights, maybe farmers on the road, coming from the town. You're not really picking any of that up. Some of you can smell the like a fireplace. You can smell that kind of smell, so that you have some of the smell of the town, but you're not hearing noises like you think you normally would. You're not seeing light up ahead. There's a little bit of ominous to it.
All right. Well, let's find out what's going on. And
I've got your back.
We'll approach this close. Maybe switch up Griselda and Egleth in the formation there.
You guys can move them now, right?
There we go. Okay.
Let me make a roll here.
Poor PB. You just keep popping in and out.
Yay!
Yay!
All right, yeah. So go ahead and set up your walking into town order here as you come to the first cottage.
Yeah, I think yeah, we're about right.
I'll be behind or next to Blaze, or do you want to lead the charge?
Why don't we walk next to each other?
And Sparrow's
Okay.
back with the horses, right? Sparrow's staying with the horses, and the horses are set back. You're not riding them into town.
I think that's wise, but I don't want to get kicked off a horse.
Yeah, because you guys can't fight from horses. You can ride them, but combat would not be.
But I don't. Blaze doesn't like the idea of leaving him out of. You know what I mean? If he gets waylaid by by infected, I gotta bring him with. He's got to come with. There's no way. Like back behind us, maybe walking the horses. Maybe 20 feet back or so.
Oof, but last time we just got swarmed by dead people. Infected people last time. Like they were just
Why?
everywhere.
I run this by you, Blaze, for your approval, but I kind of take what is his name? Sparrow?
Yeah.
I take Sparrow and I say, listen, we need you to watch these horses to make sure that if something comes after them, they survive, because we need these horses. If something does come after them, it is your job to take them and ride to safety. And we tell them to ride back down the road that we came from.
I like that idea.
Okay.
And then he's not following us into danger, but he also, I mean, he's going to be, from our experience, he's going to be faster on these horses than the infected creatures.
All right.
Yeah.
But I run this by you, Blaze, because I want your approval. It's up to you. I mean, I'm not putting it all in your hands, but what do you think?
Now, Blaze is be okay. Player me is paranoid player, and I'm like, there's no way the DM's gonna eat him if we let him out of sight. But Blaze is like, that's probably the safest thing. Keep your eyes open, boy, and don't let anything happen to my horse.
Lucian, do we have a horn or he's got his leer? Like, could he warn us through, like, if something does happen, he could send out some kind of audio signal?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So, okay. So as the group approaches, I want to fade back in time for just a moment, because there's one more thing I want to do. Yeah, because I want to wait till PB was all up and running again, just so she could hear it all. But 3 days out on your travel, during the morning prayers for Egleth, you do the first strike of your whip, and you realize that you were in some type of dream state all of a sudden. Something has overtaken your consciousness slightly. And you kind of, almost from a camera view, you're not even sure if you're seeing it through the eyes of yourself or somehow, but somehow you see a man racked with pain from rare disease lying in a bed surrounded by loved ones. You can tell the end is near. The pain escalates, and you see the man expire. You see his spirit rise, now free of pain, in bliss, and escorted to the realms of the afterlife by an avatar of Leviatar. So you actually see one of the different types of avatars that she uses to escort people to different places. You hear whispered words: to know the greatest pleasure, you must first endure the harshest pain. This is the gift I give to the worthy. And so you see this scene, and you don't see what the afterlife is. You don't see where they go, but it's this scene of being escorted to the afterlife. Then you feel the strike, the second strike of the whip, the second portion of it. Your eyes go kind of watery from the pain a moment. Your vision blurs as if you're in this dream state blur, and then another scene is given to you, and you see a woman pray at a shrine of some unknown goddess you don't recognize, with a stylized red owl for a symbol. The sun and moon flash in the sky like a revolving wheel, faster and faster. It's just over and over, light and dark, and this person is praying at this shrine. And you can hear her prayer. And her prayer is, please let my life and my death be free of pain. And you see that her prayers are being answered. She is free of pain. Then you feel your eyes blur again and a third strike of the whip on your back. You see a world rid of all pain. Everything and everyone is a feelingless husk wandering the world, a wasteland, and you feel this sickening in your gut as you see it. And at the end, you finally regain consciousness. You're covered in sweat, and a glaring red marks are across your back, and you can feel the sharp reminder now of who you serve.
That's a nightmare. I mean, a world without pain is not knowing that you exist.
Yeah, and you
Just
recognize the husks they took the shape of those infected villagers. They looked identical to those infected villagers.
Very cool.
Good news, guys. They don't feel pain, so don't feel bad.
Also remember, we probably should have mentioned this, the Ring of Restoration that Griselda still has in her possession is able to cure the disease. But it has limited uses per day, so sometimes it takes a while when you've had to cure a large group of people. Okay, we flash back to our adventurers coming up to the cottage area, and Yuretsi, you're the first. You see movement in the shadow of a cottage, this one here. You think somebody's hiding up on the roof.
I look to Blaze and Elgith and Griselda and I say, keep your eyes up. It seems we have, there might be someone on top of that roof over there. As I make a wide arc, I go about, these are 5 foot, right? I've been playing too much Storm Kings.
Yeah, they should be. And you hear, at that point, you think they've now seen your light, and you hear what is supposed to be, it is a bird call, but you were kind of, you see somebody's up there, and you recognize it's somebody giving a call.
I'm just like, that was a real, I look back, I'm like, that was a really bad bird call, wasn't it? Like that, I don't sound like that, do I?
Your bird calls have always been top notch in my book.
And Blaze will move to this corner, and he's like, looks around, like half using his sword as like the block, guard his face, and then he looks up at the roof.
Yeah, you don't see anything. You see the flat of the roof is pointing towards you. If there's something out there, it must be on the other side of the peaked roof.
Okay.
I'm just like, in a slightly higher than normal talking voice, I'm like, I don't really want to yell just because, don't want to attract too much attention, but we're here for the infected people, trying to solve that. If that's what's happening, or maybe you're bandits and you want to kill us. I mean, either way, I know you're out there. Could we just like talk this out?
Yeah, so you see somebody who is trying to be pretty stealthy, is wearing accoutrements that would allow them to be stealthy. It's just that you happen to pick them out. And you see, go ahead and give me would this be a history check? Let's try that, Yuretsi. Give me a history check.
This will be fun. This will be great.
I'm not sure if you've run into something like this before or not. Okay.
Nope.
You think there's an elf on the roof.
You're an elf. I'm a cat. Things are weird. There might be infected people in there. If you could just come out and talk to us. We probably don't mean you any harm. We don't even mean really infected people in harm. We just sort of want to fix things.
Yeah, and then you see stumbling out of the darkness up the road, you see the first infected.
Oh.
See what you did? See, we could have had a conversation. And I'm like, there's an infected. 12 high noon. I don't know if we have clocks.
Yeah, so the rest of you then see a shape who stands up, and each of you can go ahead and do a history check now. Stands up, makes a leaping bound, and leaps to another cottage roof, and appears to be using the roofs to jump from one area to the other, and begins to head further back into town. You guys can give me a history check as you see this person, this figure.
Whoa!
Eglath, you recognize it. It is a drow elf.
Oh,
Oh. What do I know about the drow?
All of the bad things.
Okay.
You know, like the 21, you know a lot about the drow. You maybe even ran into them you know a lot because who they worship. You know their structure as far as who's in charge. You know that a lot of times you would think they would be followers of Leviatar, but in a way they are more cruel, and that's not what Leviatar is about. And their goddess is a direct enemy of your goddess. There's always battling going on between the two because it's a difference between each one is about inflicting pain, but it's the reasons behind the pain and how and the why is diametrically opposed. And you see this shape jump from one roof to another and begins to head further back into town. And at that point, we're going to bring up the old turn order as I clear it.
I don't think the drow operate alone. There's probably more that he's going to go and report to as I relay a lot of this information you're giving me.
Yeah, okay. And yeah, we're going to have everybody roll initiative.
Okay.
Ooh, not my best day.
What? I'm clicked on my person though.
Oh, I have to click on my guy.
What?
this is
All right,
really
I'll try
fun.
again.
Nice. No, you got a 23. Quit trying
I did
again,
get
Yuretsi.
Oh no, I got a 23 the first time. I got a
Yeah.
17.
I'll put it in.
I was just like, I could see my little bubbles on top of me and the little cog and stuff like that, and I'm like, I'm clicked. I can't be any more clicked than I am clicked.
All right. And then Eglass was a 6.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll put you in. All right. Let's reorder that. So starting off top of the round, Yuretsi, you are able to react. You currently see a infected walking down, moving down, hobbling down the road, and you have just caught the dark elf leap from one roof to another. And you might still be able to see him. I'll try to put him in a spot that you can kind of still see him.
Let's see. I'm not terribly worried about the infected. We've gone up against so many of them, and I know they're fairly weak. So I'm not super worried about them. I'm more worried about the intentions of this dark elf. So I use my feline agility, I think is what it's called. It lets me do a double move.
Okay.
On my turn, and I have a 20 climbing speed. So this is a cottage, right?
Yes.
Also?
Yep.
All right, so I have 30 feet. All right, so 20 gets me there. I go up however tall this thing is. And really my intention is just to get to the other side.
Yeah, it's probably about 10 feet tall. It's not a very big cottage.
Yeah. Intention is just to get over here to get a better look. And on the side where I can peek out. I could do a cheeky little peek.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. Yeah.
I'm hitting.
Yep, you can go ahead and you can take your look and then you can move yourself back when you want to.
Yeah. So I'm just going to do a cheeky look this way. Be like, hey, what's up? And I'm like, oh, there's more bad guys. Oh, that's fun. I move back so I'm protected from any ranged attacks. And can I see anyone from over here? They probably can see me. That's a moot point. All right, and I'll take out my my short bow, and that'll be my turn.
We're
Okay.
used to that, though. You always just vanish as soon as anything starts.
Egla. Oh wait, you had a 6.
Yeah, so I rolled twice because I didn't select my character, so I'm
problem.
actually in the initiative order twice. You should remove the 20.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah,
There we
I
go.
did roll, but it doesn't seem to be there. So should I re-roll my?
Oh yeah, let me. Oh, you were a 6 too. I can put you in.
Okay.
And I can move you around. We'll get it. Of the dexterity, Griselda and Eglath, what's your dexterities?
I've got a +1.
I have +2.
Okay. All right. So perfect. So our infected begin to move. From out of the shadows towards our group. Let's see. Ooh, the map's running slow today.
Yeah.
Let me.
The map, is that what you said?
Yeah, it's like reacting slow. Let me reconnect this.
Roll
piece.
20 in general.
Yep.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think it's
I've got quite
worth
a lot of lag.
Maybe there's a lot of people playing games today, getting their servers. Let's see. I'm gonna refresh my screen here a sec. It is a big map though too, and that might be part of the problem. I wanted to give you guys a nice big space to play in. What's it doing?
Reminds you, did I see because there's some weird black blobs with roofs and stuff like that. Did I see the
He's on the
The
other
dog?
side of the cottage roof.
oh, okay, so
The
no,
one
I-
that wasn't facing you. Yeah,
okay.
yeah. And I'm just moving some stuff offline. So I think we're good. So the next turn would be Griselda, and I'll do some movement while you're doing your turn.
Can I cast Hold Person on the infected guy?
Yes, you certainly can.
Oh. I don't know if that was meant to happen.
Oh, no, yeah. They do a wisdom saving throw so we can read the spell when you cast it.
Yep. So you choose the person in front, and they're going to have to make a wisdom saving throw based on your spell DC. That should be listed on your character sheet.
14.
14. All right. So let me bring their character sheet up again since I refreshed and it's gone. There you are. So here we go. Wisdom check. He rolls an 8, so it does not work. Your spell succeeds. All right, so the target must succeed. At the end of its turn, the target can make another wisdom saving throw, or it's paralyzed. So it currently is paralyzed, can no longer move. I'll put a little
Oh yeah.
paralyze on him. There we go. So you guys see, and tell us a little bit about what this spell looks like. What does it look like when Griselda casts this? Is there some type of effect that people can see? What's it look like?
So she thrusts out a kind of wash of golden light. It surrounds the infected person, and he's kind of like mid action, and he just freezes in midair.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right. I'm going to take out a little bit of dynamic lighting now that you guys are here. So let's take out this one. I'm just going to take out the ones where you've been near enough too. I want to leave the other ones in so you have a little bit of blocked vision. And maybe this one. There we go. Okay. All right. So you still have movement or bonus action if there's anything else you'd want to do. You've cast your spell, and you see him stop, and he's just reaching out almost frozen like a statue. Maybe you can see the eyes roll around a little bit, but it's just kind of frozen. Appears to be a male villager of some type of townsfolk. Definitely has the infected, the coral kind of infection growing out of him.
Would I be able to use the ring on him? While
Yeah.
he's frozen?
Yep. As an action, you could probably on your next turn, I believe, if we look at it. So you could touch a creature, and either one disease or one condition affecting it can be cured. So like blinded, deafening, paralyzed, or poisoned. And this, but the ring can be used once per short rest.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna leave him there for now then, and I'll kind of hide around this building here.
Okay. All right. That'll bring us to Eglith.
How does my whip work again? I forget.
Down in the, I think I put it down there, but let's bring it up again. So the idea is, if you use it on yourself, you roll a damage die. You take that damage, but then it boosts the magical output damage of the whip.
Okay. And how long does that last though? For just the
1 minute.
1 minute. Okay.
Yeah.
So
10 rounds.
I'm gonna walk up to him and say, I know he's paralyzed, but he's still something to take out, and it's this blasphemous thing to my goddess, this like painless creature. I can't abide having it exist. So I'm gonna smack it with my warhammer.
Okay. So something paralyzed, I believe, is just, it might even be an auto hit, auto crit. Let's take a look at the condition. I like to bring
it's
these up.
advantage, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. Yep.
Either way,
I
I
think you're
critted.
right.
And
Either
are
way,
you striking to kill or striking to incapacitate?
I'm taking it out. Yeah, I think I'm striking to kill, unless you guys are gonna talk me out of it.
So paralyzed creatures incapacitated, can't move or speak. Creature automatically fails strength and dex. Attack rolls have advantage against it. Any attack that hits the creature is a critical hit if the attacker is within 5 feet. So you rolled it, which is awesome that you rolled a crit anyways. But even if you hadn't rolled a crit, it would have automatically been a crit. So you can roll it as if you're damaged. So you can go ahead and roll your damage.
Okay.
Which shouldn't matter because it should be way more than...
So wait, if I click this, it'll do... That's 1d8 plus 3, so I roll an extra d8?
Nope. So what you end up doing is where you see the 26 and the 25 in the chat, just click the word Warhammer, and then it will roll the damage right from there.
Oh.
Yeah, there we go. So it rolled a 6, and you can see that it rolled a 3, and I got a plus 3, and then the 9 is the roll, 2d8.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, it's crushed. It's if you were swinging for the fences, it definitely is down and out. It's down and out.
Yeah. Take that.
And Griselda, you feel you were concentrating on your spell, and you feel the target of your spell has expired, and now you're no longer needing to concentrate on it. All right. Anything else for Eglith? That was a little bit of movement and then an action, which was fighting. Got any bonus actions or?
I'm going to keep moving to here to see what's up here.
Okay.
And I see a guy.
Yeah, you probably see more stuff.
And I holler back, another infected. And that is the end of my turn.
brings us to Blaze.
And this guy literally, I can tell he's like dead, right? I mean,
Oh yeah, the
crushed
Warhammer
him.
caved his head in.
I glance back at Griselda and I'm like, are these not villagers? Are we slaying them? And I just kind of leave the question hanging, and I will proceed.
Okay.
To here. Great sword at the ready.
All right. So that was a 30-foot move, regular move.
Yep, regular move.
So you still have action, bonus action.
Yep, I got nothing I'm going to do this turn.
Okay.
I guess
So-
maybe swirl and flip my sword around all battle
All right.
mastery.
That's our first full round of combat. We've had some blood. Already have a death on the board. We'll take our next 5-minute break, and then we'll come right back and we will finish our group entering the town of Bellport, seemingly already overrun by infected and a surprise guest appearance by some drow elf of some sort. All right. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. All right, let's get back to the action. Let's switch you back to the map. There we go. Top of the round, Uretzi Venus Bright Falls. You were up.
Uretzi.
She's like a heavyweight boxer.
Bum, 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 bum.
Let's see. I don't know what to do. Well, I see this other person to, my north, whatever. So, and I see disinfected. I really want to see what they're gonna do. That's what I'm most curious about. So I keep an eye out on this this drow to my northwest. And I guess I'll hold an action. I have my bow out. I guess I'll hold my action, and if they try to kill me or my compatriots, I'll shoot. But otherwise, I'm just a bystander at the moment.
Okay.
I trust my fellows to take down one infected.
Yeah, so infected shambles up. Right up to Blaze. Strikes out with its deformed hands and tries to hit you. But it rolls a 10, so you just kind of duck out of its way, not even touched by it. Then we have some more movement. So a double move as this thing comes running out, as there's now sounds of battle happening in the south side of town. 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, yeah. Ooh, there's lots of these. Hold on.
Not something you want to hear your DM say.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
I'm just expecting a literal horde.
There we go.
It'll be like that scene in our in the Black Door when we went through the portal. It's a non-stop. Oh well, speaking of non-stop, it's not that many. Don't worry, guys. We'll be fine.
I was gonna say we can't see what you see at this point, so.
And then you hear, you hear a shouted voice coming from deeper in the town, yelling at something else, unseen, because there's not really a lot of noise going on here. But you hear the voice say, "You will do this now. I demand it." And that's all you hear. And then that brings us to our drow, who take aim. Yeah, you see the one to the north of you, Uretzi, raising a hand crossbow towards you. It's pretty clear it's about to shoot at you.
All right.
Should trigger your action.
Yep, I shoot at it. Screw you. Screw
Yeah,
you, dude.
So
Screw
the crossbow
you.
comes up, begins to pull the trigger, and
Ooh, 25.
25 will hit.
Fortunately, I didn't do anything fancy, so no sneak attack. Yet.
Okay, so
Having my
4
sack
damage as an
sucker.
arrow clips past a shoulder area and continues on, puts a gash in the drow's shoulder.
I yell back and I'm like, not friendly. Drow, not friendly.
All right. Oh, do you not get your second attack yet?
Uh,
At 6th?
can
Oh,
I?
I don't know if rogues have extra attacks like
At
that.
some point, I thought they got it.
I don't.
Maybe not. I could be wrong. So you still have bonus action.
To the
For-
rules.
Yeah, to the rules. For my bonus action, I'll use my inquisitive trait, which for my bonus action I use, I think it's called inquisitive fighting. Yep, in which I make an insight check, and if I against their deception check, and if I succeed, I can use sneak attack whenever on that one person. So I need to make an insight check.
Okay, and they roll a
Against their-
deception. Okay.
Yep, against their deception.
If they don't have deception, I'm guessing it's just a straight
It's just
wisdom.
charisma.
Oh, just charisma.
Charisma, yeah. It's a charisma deception check.
Nope, you beat me.
Hey.
Both high rolls though.
Yeah. So now I have sneak attack on that guy, no matter what.
Okay. Would you have done that before you shot?
And had I known I had a bonus action, yeah.
Gotcha.
I thought I just had my one action.
Okay. Okay, so that one, so you did not kill him, but he's going to attempt to fire off hand crossbow at you. It's over 30 feet, so this will be at disadvantage. Here we go.
Whew, it still hits.
Oh, 20, yep. So target must succeed on DC 13 saving throw or be poisoned.
What is that? A con save?
You will take 7 piercing damage. Yeah, you need to make a DC 13 con. Yep, you made it, so you are not
Nailed
poisoned.
7, damn.
Okay. These are nasty. Nice. Other drow moves to the other side of the roof to get a shot, sees Eglith, and fires hand crossbow at Eglith. 5, 10, 15, 20.
No.
Within range. So this is a regular shot, not disadvantage.
Oh,
Rolls a
thank goodness.
9. Arrow strikes the ground next to you, breaking the bolt.
I can just imagine you're just a little disappointed that didn't hit you.
Interesting.
Just like, oh, no pain today.
Yeah.
It's going to move a little bit. Oh. Stop, dog. I think it's going to stay on the roof there. Wants to fight from the roof. You hear whispered conversation. Well, you hear a conversation happening. You can't quite make it out. The bellowing you heard, but there's some type of argument now happening in the center of town. Not quite sure what it is. So that'll bring us to Griselda.
I'd like to move a little bit further forward to maybe here. And I might cast Acid Arrow on the chap, the infected chap that I can see.
Okay. So a 12 up to 90 feet. I think these guys have a pretty low. 12 is exactly what you needed. So the acid arrow strikes. So you should be able to click the word acid arrow now in the chat where it says 12 and 16. And it should roll the damage for you. Nice. Let's see. So it's a 44. Did you roll it like at a higher level?
At level 2.
Yeah, so it gave you more D4 then? Okay. Let's see. Is that enough? Oh, not quite enough. Still standing. Barely.
Do I have any more movement left?
You get 30 movement. You'd have to use another action.
Oh no, it's okay.
Yeah, you'd have to use another action. Okay. Okay. Let's see. I want to do this a second. Can I do it? I want to add that. I forgot one thing.
Nice. Yay.
We'll leave that in for you.
He's so happy when you play music.
Okay. Well, it might get repetitive, but we'll let it go. All right. Eglith, you were up. You see a acid arrow fly between you and... which one were you... Let me make sure I got the right one, Griselda. If you ping on it just by clicking your mouse and holding it down, which one were you hitting?
This one.
Oh, okay. There we go. I did the wrong one. But you see this acid arrow, magical arrow, smash into the chest of this infected right in front of Blaze. It staggers a little bit, but it still seems to be up.
Awesome. I'm gonna. What's this? What are the drows just kind of hanging out on the roof?
Yeah, seems to be crouched. Looks like it's putting another arrow into its crossbow, hand crossbow.
Do I? I'm gonna cast Chill Touch on the drow. I'm gonna send out a spectral hand that grabs him.
Okay.
Ooh.
Oh, probably not.
Yeah, so you see the spectral hand fly out. He flattens himself to the roof as it flies over him, and he kind of crouches back again as it just misses.
All right. I'm gonna come around here, kind of, and take some cover behind this house a little bit.
Sounds good. That brings us to Blaze.
No one answered me whether we're slaying these people or not. And
From Eglith's perspective, they are like abominations because they don't feel pain and they're kind of these weird creatures. So he considers them doing it a favor, putting them out of their misery.
and
But if you guys can save them, it's up to you.
yeah, so and this one right now is like holes burnt in it from acid, right? And I'm kind of thinking, even if we do turn this guy back, he's gonna have big, huge acid. I take him out or attempt to. It's great sword time.
Hack and slash.
22's good.
For 9.
Yeah,
rolled a
he
2.
goes down.
Okay, I was gonna say I rolled a 2, so I got to re-roll, but good. Okay.
And was that real damage, subdual damage? What?
Because of the acid, Blaze kills him. He's like, this guy's. Even
Go
if we
ahead and
bring him
describe it.
back. Yeah, it's one of those where I'm like, sorry, chum, and he brings it around underneath and brings it like between his legs and just shears him upward, through his guts, and then like knocks him over with the pommel of the sword. And I don't have light, and so I guess I step in. Nope. I will say something along the lines of, Griselda, Yatziri, take the ones on the roof. Me and Eglith will clear the ground. And
All
I step into the middle here to become more of a target, knowing that, these guys with their hand crossbows are definitely, winging poison around.
Okay, that brings us to top of the round. So that was our round number 2. Yuretsi, you were up.
So because I moved 0 feet on my last turn, I can use my feline agility once more to have a burst of movement, which doubles my move. And so I make my way to this other roof for a showdown with that drow. But as I'm sliding down the wall, quickly sliding down, climbing, whatever, I'm like, remember, real people, a little bit infected. We want to bring them back to the world of pain. Looking at you, Eglith. And I'm running by, saying that, and then I climb up on this roof. And
All right, let me move the thing for you a second.
And Blaze is like, having just cut that guy in twain.
There you go.
all right, and so I approach, and as I'm running, I drop the short bow, and I grab my dagger returning, and I just on roof ground.
He's on the ground.
I throw
So 10 feet below you.
throw it 10 feet below me, which I have a thing for this somewhere. I think it is this one. Let's hope so.
Yeah, strikes home.
All right. Or
Oh,
18.
go ahead and describe how that person dies.
As I get onto the roof, I remember for a second. I look back. I'm like, but the drow, fuck them, kill them. And as I get to them, I just go, boop, straight down, straight into their head place, maybe even to like in the middle of their forehead as they look up at me. And I'm like, bye.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Mhm.
Is that
That
all
is my
for... That's Yuritsy's turn. All right, moving on to our infected who are wobbling around. They are going to... 10, 15, 20, 25. Yep, easy. Can get to there. So we'll use a dash to get to you, but won't be able to attack you. One gets up to Blaze, can attack Blaze. One cannot. Another one. 5, 10. I'm going to try an athletics roll. It's going to try to climb onto the roof, but it's not very good at this. So we're going to say, let's go like DC 12, I'm thinking. Oh, kills it though. Climbs up and is facing off with Yuretsi on the roof.
It's like
And that's
a crate and a barrel, and it just steps right up onto the roof.
So first one on Blaze tries to hit you.
Alrighty.
Oh, critted. Wow, the rolls are coming out now. 7 bludgeoning damage onto Blaze. And then for Yuretsi, these calloused hands completely miss as you duck out of its way and are unharmed. There you go. So go right from crit right to crit fail. Crit hit, crit fail. The drow fires an arrow again at... sees that there's a wizard on the field, is going to shoot towards Griselda and then run. Let's see. Let's take a look. Yeah, actually that would be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. No, it's outside of 30 feet. Okay. So you see a hand crossbow come at you, but it will be disadvantaged to hit you.
Nice. 2 and 2. Everything is right in the world now.
Yep. Jeez. I should play a druid.
Yes.
And then runs. Let's see, what else do we have here? Nope. My dog. Yeah. Yeah, okay, it's just going to run. I was thinking about one more thing, but nope, we'll just run it. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Farther up the road. Yelling out, "They approach!" Oh, let's see. Do you guys have the languages? Let's even check that. Does anybody speak Elvish?
Not I.
Do I really only have one language?
No.
All right.
No, if I
You
don't
hear
know.
some foreign word. You're not sure what it was. And that is the Drow's turn. That brings us to Griselda as you noticed a poisoned arrow flew past you, not hitting you. You see a battle erupting just ahead of you. What does Griselda do?
I'm going to move forward a little bit again. And then I'm going to cast Mage Armor.
All right. Tell us what that looks like.
So I bring up my hands above my head. As I bring them down, a sort of ethereal shell appears. Temporarily sort of makes a explosion noise, and then it disappears into me.
Nice.
Sweet.
All right. So movement, casting, any bonus action for your character? I don't know if there is for the wizard. Sometimes there is, sometimes there's not.
No, I don't.
Okay. That will bring us to Eglith. You're up.
I'm gonna come around the corner like this, and then I have I have my character sheet written now. Sorry. So because I am a Death Domain cleric, I have an ability called Reaper, where my necromancy single target cantrips can affect 2 targets within 5 feet of each other. So I want to send Chill Touch to the 2 infected in front of me.
Yeah, makes total sense.
So here's the first one.
Hit. Spectral
For-
hand grabs him.
6 necrotic damage. And then the second one.
Hit
Ooh,
again.
for 9 necrotic damage.
Nice.
You can go ahead and explain how your spectral chill touch kills that second one.
All right, so I'm not supposed to kill. I'm taking this into account, and I'm like, oh, okay. So I try to just take him down magically, kind of draining his will with the necrotic damage. The hand like hits him
Unfortunately-
square in the chest, and he falls over.
Yeah,
collapses.
unfortunately, you can't subdue with magic. You can only subdue
I
with
can't.
weapons.
All right, he's
Yeah,
gone.
He's gone.
Goodbye. I'll keep that in mind as I was like, I don't know my own strength here at sea. I tried.
Casualty of war.
Nice. All right. Any other? You still have a little movement or bonus action?
No, I'll hang out here next to Blaze.
All right. Blaze is up.
All right. All right. That last one standing there, I go flat of the blade, and
Sounds good. Oh yeah, hits. You guys are rolling high. Nice. Down.
okay. Yeah.
We'll put him unconscious.
Take a break, chum.
The spectral hand dissipates as he falls to the ground. Anything else from Blaze?
Because Blaze realizes that he doesn't actually have a light source. He wouldn't have noticed where the arrows were coming from either. So I guess Blaze just kind of moves to here. I'm trying to use the corner as cover
Okay.
from like this direction.
Sure.
So I'm actually a little back from, but that's about where I'm at.
All right. That was our round number 3. Back to the top of the round. So 18 seconds has gone by. It's crazy. You're Etsy. You were up.
Can I throw a dagger at no disadvantage at this draw from this direction? This position, I mean.
Yeah, as long as the range would give you disadvantage because there's a range on it, right?
Yeah, no.
Like 20 feet?
I'm within 20.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
All right, so I throw a sneaky dagger of returning. 18.
18 would hit.
All right. Oh, that other one was at advantage. Totally forgot. No, it wasn't. 15.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead and describe as this drow is running towards the center of town, and you stop them from doing that.
I'm like, hey, wait. Just kidding. Oh, I crack myself up. I bring it back, and with my other hand, I use my interaction to take out my normal dagger, and I stab at this guy in front of me with my bonus action.
Okay.
Dagger offhand. 13?
Oh, yeah, on them is a 13. Yep, that would strike.
It's not going to be that much. 6.
Yeah, big wound, but does not go down. As you kind of slash it across the chest area, big wound opens up.
In a not-killing manner.
But it still kind of is scrabbling towards you.
And yep, because I don't want to move. Yep, that is my turn.
All right. So the infected, unconscious on the ground. One tries to swing at you with its infected hands. So trying to hit your Retzi.
Nope.
And misses once again. You're able to kind of duck out of the way. It's having a hard time keeping its footing on the roof, which is making it easier for you to dodge around the strikes it's trying to use. As far as you guys can tell, yeah, everything is gone that you can see. Griselda's up.
All you know is that noise was made.
I'm gonna try and use my naturally stealthy feature to hide behind Blaze. So
Okay.
I'm gonna move further up. So I can see what's going on. And I think I'm just gonna hide for this turn.
Okay, yeah, so you can roll a stealth check. So on your character sheet, you can go ahead and there's a stealth skill. You can roll it.
Okay.
And that'll just tell us how well you're hiding. Okay. That brings us to Eglith. You were up.
I'm gonna rush forward and see what I can see. There's a couple dead drow. Holy cow. Retzi just going to town. I guess I'll send a chill touch to this guy.
Alrighty.
Chill touch.
Yeah, 22 would hit.
3
is just enough. You have killed another villager down. As another
they're in a better place. Just
spectral hand crushes his chest cavity.
In a place without pain.
Yeah. Your Retzi hears the but why? As it crushes an askin. All right. Anything else for Eglith?
Nope. That's all I can do. Movement. Good.
Blaze is up.
Right. Good. My lantern moved forward.
Yeah. I didn't realize you were using me as a lantern, so I'll try to keep in front of you.
Well, it's funny because I almost said at one point, someone hit my plate mail with some light, but then when two of you had a light source, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I think if one of us recasts it, it goes away. Like, you can't cast light multiple times. I could be wrong.
No, I think that's right.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain that's right.
So
Oh, and
Blaze is up.
And I did look it up. Rogues, unless it's archetype specific, they never do get a second attack.
Oh, crazy. Well, they get a
Because
bonus
their sneak
action.
attack
Something.
keeps going up, I think.
Yeah,
Well, you can always attack with a bonus
right.
action.
Okay, I got a great sword out, so I'm looking around and I'm like, someone fight me. That's it. That's all I got.
Okay. Okay, we're at top of the round. Yuretzi's up. This is moving into round number 4. You see nobody at this point.
All right. Because I did not move in my last turn, I can use my feline ability once more to do basically a dash, double my movement. Just because I'm being hella greedy and I don't want to use up my bonus action dash. So I move over to, I guess, this roof. This is a house also, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. So just so I can go up and down, no problem, to the other side of the roof and see what's what. As long as I can get on an angle that I can see the rest of it.
Okay.
Let's see. Give me a second. I'm just gonna move to a place, hopefully, where I can see. There we go. And which direction did you say we heard the bellowing voice?
To the center of town, so up to the northeast from where you
Up
are.
to the northeast. All right. So I think I have like a little bit more movement. So I'll move to the front of the building and I'll say, I guess let's go towards the. Oh no! Stay down. Okay, it doesn't matter. Let's go towards the yelling voices. That always seems to turn out well. And that'll be. I guess I do have my bonus action. I guess I could dash. I mean, might as well. Yeah. So I'll just dash ahead about 30 feet.
You may want to go 5 feet at a time.
Okay. Let's go back slowly but surely. Okay, there we go. Oh,
keep-
okay.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
right. You're not wrong. Let's see.
And it's clear they see you when you do this.
15, 20, 25, 30. I'm like, hey guys, found them. They're on the other side. I saw them a little bit. There's a really big guy and a lot of little dudes. They didn't look normal. And now I'm back here. Go save the day.
Save the day.
I'm just licking my wound from where I got stabbed a little bit, getting the poison off of me, and like.
All right, so we'll move to our infected. Is going to go like that to there.
That must have looked
There.
hilarious. Yuretsi just dashed off the roof to the other roof, jumped off super fast, saw that completely curve back around. Could have easily just jumped down and walked over, no problem. Just like, nope. Just nope, straight out of there. That's supersonic speed.
All right, so those have gone. That brings us to the drow. Oh, yeah. We hear more words in Elvish once again that none of you recognize.
That's always fun. Let me tell you, anyone starts liking thieves' cant though, I got you. I got it down.
All right,
Yeah,
they are
anyone talks in
done.
giant.
Griselda is up.
Let's see. 20. Okay, I'm gonna do what I did before and try and hide behind Blaze.
Okay.
And see what I can see. Sorry, my game's really lagging for some reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we're
Um,
back into dynamic lighting areas.
Yeah.
Maybe. Oh. Yeah, I'll hide if I can.
Okay. That brings us to Eglith.
All right, I'm moving forward. Like, yeah, like here. Don't see anything, so I'm gonna go here. Which direction were they coming from? Uretzi?
Northeast.
Northeast. Oh, way up there. Okay. I think I will use my whip and hit myself so that it does increase damage.
Okay. So roll
So I do
damage.
1d6 damage.
Yep.
So I take 3.
All right, and now your whip is a 2d6 whip.
I'm what? Yeah, 2d6.
Yep.
And that is my turn, I guess. I'm just being a light for Blaze.
Yeah, and knowing the drow as much as you do, you know that their vision at night is superb.
Yeah.
Like 100+ feet more than probably what you can see.
Right.
Does bright light affect them? Like, if our huge bright light source Eglith gets in their face, is that just like daylight for them?
Bright light, but not necessarily like torchlight or first level light.
Yeah.
But yeah, if somebody casts like a sunbeam, or there are spells
Daylight
that will
spell.
mimic it. Yeah.
There is a daylight spell.
Yeah, they do have the sunlight sensitivity. Blaze is up, bottom of the round.
And in chat, they're talking about your dynamic lighting. I would love it if there was a way we could show them what we could see.
I have a
because
little bit
it's
here and
so
there, yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, I can. They can see it now.
Oh, that's cool. Thank you. And I got 10 more feet. I guess I go here because I can't see anybody or anything. So, but I see there's a well there, and the wells have always been trouble with these mask minions. Onward, companions. You know.
All right. End of our 4th round. Moving into our 5th round. Uretzi at the top. Your turn.
I scrabble up this roof, and I head.
Go 5 feet at a time.
Okay, all right. Get on the roof. There we go. Let's see. Okay, I can just barely see the outline of this person.
Yeah.
Let
Let me give you a second here. Let me take away the dynamic lighting. It's going to ruin the surprise for everybody else, but let me explain to you what you see.
Let's see here.
So as you move to the crown of that, you see what appears to be a half drow, half big black widow spider body
Oh, God.
on the other side of that roof. And you just kind of come up over it, and you are face to face with it.
I'm just like, well, that's not one of the most terrifying things I've ever seen in my life. And I stab it. Or at least I try to stab it. Oh, bonus action. Bonus action first against their charisma or deception against my insight.
Okay.
That ruins my plans of escaping after this, but it's fine. 23.
Let's see. Let's
Chaw. Or
toggle.
Deception
I
if
need
they
to do
have the skill.
toggle. I'm going to whisper it just because I don't want them. Well, I guess I just told you guys what it is. It's a Drider, so never mind. So never whisper rolls. There we go. Okay.
terrifying is the
And I need to do charisma or
or deception if they have.
deception if I have it. I don't, so I will just do charisma. No, you got it again.
Sweet. So I get sneak on this attack. I guess I'm in 5 feet, but it doesn't matter. Watch out. 16?
You feel, and what weapon were you using? Oh, your dagger. Did you throw it or just strike it?
Stab it.
Yeah, you feel your knife hit the carapace of the Black Widow body, and you realize that it's a hard carapace. You didn't actually damage the creature.
And I say, well, that's fun. It's great. Happy about this entire situation. I'm like, there's a widow spider person thing here. Yeah, I'm just gonna hang out up here. Don't mind me.
Aglith would know immediately what she's describing as a drow elf drider.
Gotcha.
The rest of you have
my
not
turn.
really seen much of know much about the drows. Brings us to, okay, anything else here, Retzi? That was bonus action, a little bit of movement, and an attack. Anything else? You saw more movement, maybe? I don't know if you want to.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
I'm just gonna stay there. That's my
So
turn.
infected will begin to move. 25 there. They don't see anything quite yet. So they dash out and they appear behind our party. That's their turn. The drow. You see this drider, and let's see, do we have the... Oh, I didn't put in the good notes for it. I should have put in the good notes for it. It sneers at you, Yuretsi, as its clacking 8 legs sticks to the roof of this cottage, and it is going to swing its long sword at you and then attempt to bite you.
Can you just let not though?
Yeah. Yeah, as I'm looking at this looks really bad. All right, so longsword snakes out towards Yuretsi. This is a single-handed blow.
No.
So it misses as you dive away, and then it tries to bite you as you move a little bit out of the way. As you moved a little closer to dodge the longsword, and then it has these fangs that come out, dripping with some type of greenish fluid.
Oh, no,
For
that
a
hits.
21. So
That hurts. That sucks.
it does
my
2
God.
piercing, but then it does
Son
13
of a-
poison damage to you. And you can feel it, the blood in your veins
15.
burning slightly. So you feel the blood and kind of burning sensation. You can tell that whatever it is, it's poisoned. All right, that is its attack. Movement wise,
Feeling
it
great.
it maneuvers to try to block you from escaping.
Good luck, have fun with that. Thank God for those temporary hit points I forgot I had.
There you go. We see a crossbow bolt fly out towards Blaze at disadvantage. Yep, still already marked. So 14?
Nope.
Nope. But you see the arrow fly out of the darkness, pass by you.
Okay.
And let's see what else is going to happen here.
From which direction, if you don't mind my asking?
The northeast.
Okay. All right.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Five, 10, 15, 20, 25. All right. They do that. Griselda's turn. Sorry, there's a lot going on off map, but you guys can see. You'll see soon enough, I think. Griselda's up.
I'm gonna move further within range, and then I'm gonna cast haste on Yuretsi.
All right.
Oh, hey.
So we'll give you some lightning bolts.
Thought that might help.
Yeah.
Those two. Oof.
Nice. All right. Eglith, you're up.
I'm going to turn to the Drider and cast Guiding Bolt. So my hand goes up and a shimmering ball of light flies out and goes over to the Drider.
Okay.
I don't know if I did this right. Cast it at what level? Let's cast it as a level 2 spell.
All right. Using one of your level 2 slots.
So it used one of my level 2 slots.
All right. So guiding bolt, they have to make a check, right?
No, it's a ranged attack. I just have to make it, I guess. It's plus 7, so I do R. Sorry, I don't have this set up.
No, it's okay. Slash R and then 1d20
D20 plus 7?
Yeah.
Yeah!
20 is enough.
Sweet. So
Yep.
he's going to take, because I did it as a second level spell, 5d6 radiant damage.
Yeah. Roll it out. Another 20 points. Nice.
And then the next person that attacks him has advantage because he's got like shimmering light all over his body.
Okay. Anything else from Eglith?
I think that is it for Eglith. Unless, Blaze, do you need me to move forward with my light?
No. The Drider is Blaze's biggest concern right now, so...
Okay.
You see movement coming at you in the shadows.
Yeah, this...
And this guy looks...
I'll take a step forward.
This guy, you can tell, is wearing a chain shirt. Looks a little more serious than the other drow you've seen thus far.
Okay.
Armor's more ornate, stands taller, cruel, vicious look on her face. Short sword is out. Clearly a warrior of some sort.
All right. Yeah, Blaze is really concerned about that Drider, but seeing this new threat, aha, an opponent worthy of my blade, and boom, oh, blah.
Yeah, not enough.
Second
You see it
attack.
crash off the armor of this elf, drow elf, female warrior come up, and she sneers at you as you are not able to do any damage to her.
Second attack.
Yep, 26 would work.
Bang.
Should be 10 then.
I rolled a 1, so I gotta roll d6.
Okay.
And the 1 stands. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
She kind of chuckles at you, readying her short sword to strike out at you. Any other actions?
Nope. Gonna. But I do have some reactions possible. So we'll
Okay.
see what
You're
happens when I
Retzi.
get
You were up. We're in our 6th
If you
round.
attack the Drider, Yuretsi, you have advantage.
All right, sweet. That was exactly what I was going to ask. All right, and I'm hasted, so I have an extra attack. So I use my dagger of sneakiness. Oh, I didn't do that with advantage. Well, we'll see. Hopefully this is better.
Yeah!
Crit. Nice.
All right.
Roll some crit damage.
26.
Wow.
And is it even more because your sneak attack, if crit, you get to roll those dice additional too?
It's already in there. It's in there.
Oh, okay, so it did all those.
Mhm.
26. Nice hit.
That's with the first one. All right.
You put a
And,
really nice wound on it, but you realize that this is a very tough creature. It still looks very menacing and very dangerous.
All right, for my second attack, my hasted attack, I will be specific on. I'll use that same dagger, the dagger of returning, just because it does more damage. And it doesn't hit. For my bonus action, I will disengage.
Okay.
And I will use... Did I move last round?
Nope, you didn't.
I didn't. So I have my feline goodness.
Correct.
And I'm going to... Why doesn't everyone play the Baxies? They're so badass. I'm going to... let's see. Head down. And let's see. And let's see. Slowly but surely I'll get there. Don't worry. There we go. And I'll just be over here. Don't mind me. Just be over here licking my wounds. I'll be like, thanks, Griselda. Very fast. I'm like, thanks, Griselda.
No worries.
What
All right.
Hammy the squirrel.
Yeah.
Infected turn. We see what do we want to do? I want to do this. I want to go objects and tokens. Control. See a second.
Hello?
Yeah, give me 1 second.
Oh, I thought my computer froze. Sorry.
Yeah, so did I.
Just had to make something different. All right, I think that's all good.
I'll keep track of it.
Okay. All right. So infected down to the south. So we got 5, 10, 15. Uh-oh, coming towards our wizard in the middle of the road. 2 of the infected have headed towards her. Let's hope the mage armor can hold out. First one swings its deformed hands at you. Rolls a 7. Your armor, you see your magic armor just light up as it hits, and it's not able to hurt you, and your magic holds strong. Another one tries to hit you. 19. I think that gets through for 4 bludgeoning damage on our wizard. And you need to make a Constitution saving throw to maintain your haste concentration spell. So you want to roll above a 10 on your con saving throw. So it should be on your character sheet. It should say saving throws, Constitution. You just click it. No. Concentration goes down. Yuretsi, you feel the haste wear off of you.
It was good. I did what I needed to.
And I believe that has an effect on you. Give me a second. I think at the end of that spell, when the spell ends, the target can't move or take actions until after its next turn, as a wave of lethargy sweeps over you. So you're going to miss 1 turn as you all of a sudden slump and you're just exhausted for a moment. And that is the infected turn. Oh, actually, Blaze. You see Griselda come up behind the drow you're fighting.
Okay.
What?
Oh, that was going to be my next question. I was going to be like, anybody else see that up there? All right.
That's not me! It's not me!
And then, okay, so Drow's turn. This is our Drider. Oh, boy. Is not going to let Yuretsi get away. It's already wounded her. Going to leave the infected to take down the halfling, maybe not even noticing you beneath its gaze, but tears after the tabaxi that's wounded it. And is going to just do 2 longsword shots this time instead of a bite. So first one. An 11 would miss on your armor class. And an 18, would that hit?
Yeah.
All right, so an 18... I don't know why it did that. What's the toggle? Don't roll damage, right? Oh, there we go. So 15 slashing damage. Nope. Wait a minute. Let me look at how I have that set up. Something's wrong. So it does 1d8 plus 3, which should be the first number. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's only 5 slashing damage. 10 would have been if it was using 2 hands. It was not using 2 hands. So it's only 5 slashing damage.
All right. Phew.
Okay. Veteran or elite warrior takes some shots at Blaze. Short sword. For a 21.
Oh, gains purchase.
Yeah, 8 piercing damage.
You have 7 temporary hit points, Blaze.
I already lost them.
Oh no!
Tagged earlier.
And here comes the second one.
Yeah, second wind, right?
Yep, I do.
Miss. All right. Claiming to be the real Griselda turn, although we're not sure. There's 2 Griseldas on the field.
I'm going to cast Flow on the 2 infected and the Drider.
Okay, so let's take a look at the spell. Up to 6 creatures in a 40-foot cube.
That's so cool.
Nice.
They must make a wisdom saving throw or be affected by the spell. So let's go through them. Let's go our infected first. Wisdom saving throw. I believe this is against your DC. So one got an 18, one got a 2.
Oh, okay. One of them succeeded.
Yep, so one succeeds, one fails, and we'll talk about what it does here in a second. We'll say the top one succeeded, so we'll just put... Actually, the bottom one failed, so we'll put something... We'll put the snail. There we go. We'll put a little snail on him. They're already slowed. Drider. Wisdom saving throw. Does not have one, so just regular. Nope, misses it also.
Cool.
Snail.
Nice. That's such a cool spell.
Yeah.
All right, so target's speed is halved by 2, takes a -2 to its AC and dexterity saving throws. Doesn't get its reactions. It can use an action or a bonus action, but not both. It can make 1 attack. It can't make more than 1. Okay, that's good. If it casts a spell, roll a d20. On 11 or higher, the spell doesn't take effect. Okay. They get to make wisdom saving throws at the end of its turn each time. Okay. Perfect. All right, Griselda. The spell goes off. Now, what's it look like? What's the magical spell effect that happens? What's this all visually look like?
A kind of ripple, almost like a heat haze, comes out like a cube around me, and anything that's caught in it kind of slows down. Even the pitch of the voice goes down. It's like raw.
All right. You just gave him computer lag.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
they're lucky.
yeah, but remember the Drider has like 8 legs, so that's got to look all janky and weird. Like freaks me out.
All right, that brings us to Eglith.
I'm gonna turn my hand north and point it at Blaze and say, "Have faith, brother." And a magical shield will shimmer around him, giving him +2 bonus to AC. Shield of Faith.
Nice. Thank you.
All right.
And
Let's,
then that's a bonus action. And as my regular action, I'm going to cast Toll the Dead on our Drider. So he makes a wisdom saving throw.
Here we go. Wisdom saving throw. What's the DC?
15. Dang it.
Oh, critted it. You
All
see
right,
him in
so nothing
slow
happened.
motion turn towards you and sneer.
All right, that's my turn.
All right. Blaze is up.
All right. Seeing the new shimmer, I grin widely and start chopping.
Yes, 20 would hit. For 6.
Both of those need to be re-rolled.
Oh.
3 and 5.
Ooh,
So,
nice. 8.
12 altogether because of my strength.
Oh, damn.
Okay.
And second attack. Oh, gee. Oh. Why are you against me? Okay. Yeah, and that's all I got.
Okay. All right. That would bring us to the top of the round. Round number 7. Yuretsi, you were up.
Yuretsi is too tired to do anything, so Yuretzi's turn is over.
That is right. Infected. Okay, so one is slow, but still can slowly hit Griselda, or try to. So the first one that's been slowed, deform attack. And they get a -2 penalty on AC and Dex, but nothing to hit, right?
No, it just limits how many times they can attack.
Yeah. Okay. So rolls a 12. 12 should not be enough to get through your mage armor, I don't think.
It's not.
No. So the second one tries to swing. This is the unaffected one. Mage is in there standing tall against these infected, beating on the mage's magical bubble of shield, almost like a bubble paladin from WoW. And then...
That must be a funny visual, though. Like, one guy's just like, going really slowly. And the other guy's just like, wah.
we see the real Griselda kind of sneak out from behind the drow and strike at Blaze. And Blaze, what are you thinking right now? What's running through your head when you see this happen?
Is she brandishing a weapon?
Nope.
No. I'm like, and the big guy next to me is not like,
Didn't see it come up from behind him as if
Right.
she was hiding behind him, and she's coming around now, but she's looking at you with a kind of
All right.
a little bit of a weird face.
I make the samurai squint eyes like, huh? Like, what are you gonna do? Like, why aren't you back there? Because
And she
Blaze is-
sees and she looks at you, and you realize she says to you and answers both of the questions that just ran through your head. You are in over your head. Today, you will not survive.
Uh-oh.
And it's in a really creepy Griselda voice.
Okay. Okay. All right,
And then 2 attacks try to hit you from the real Griselda.
okay.
That gets advantage, so a 20.
20 is, I believe, exactly my armor class. Yep.
The first round of
Because the
combat.
because of the shield of faith.
Yep, so first round of combat, this one gets advantage. So first one hits. Does 9 bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
Second attack. At advantage, 16.
Nope.
Not enough to clangs off your armor. All right, that is their turn. Comes to the drow, Mr. Drider. Gonna stick with the multi attacks. Why break it up? 1 long sword, 1 bite.
I can only make 1.
I think you can only do 1 because he's slowed.
You're right. You are right. We will go for the bite. Is going to try
That's
to
what
bite
the saying tells me.
your Retzi. Good one. 25, your Retzi.
Just barely, just barely touches me.
Oh, I roll horribly. Look at that. 4 points. 2 of it piercing, 2 of it poison.
That was wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right.
The drow that's fighting Blaze, 2 short sword attacks.
Okay.
7 would miss.
Clang.
A 6 would miss.
Ting. Haha. How about you?
All right. The drow speaks words you cannot recognize. The Drider speaks words back with a slow slur. And then it's Griselda's turn. The fake Griselda.
I'd like to cast Thunder Wave.
Okay.
But because I'm an evoker, I can protect Yuretsi from its effect.
Okay.
Nice. That's cool.
Yeah, Evoker's cool. Okay, so you're going to shoot the kind of it, because it kind of goes out in an arc, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, so you would get, so just the Drider then. Right? Is that where you're...
Is it an arc or is it a...
Let's look.
20.
A cube?
It's a 20 cube,
Mhm.
but you can point it, make
Oh, okay.
it a diamond or anything.
Yeah,
as
let's
long
do
as it
this.
starts at you.
Okay, so does it go out from me around or do I have to direct it?
Direct it. Thunderclap is the one that starts at you and goes outward.
Got you. Okay, yeah, I'd like to aim it at the Drider.
All right, I'll put a square down and you can show me. So it's got to come off of your square somehow. So it could... sorry.
Sort of...
So it could be like this. It
my
could
thing's
be...
not working.
Yeah, I think I could move it. I'm not sure
Not the
you
whole
can.
Because I've got the thing on. So from here,
Yeah.
like kind of in a cube outwards, like a
At a
A V.
diagonal from...
like a diamond towards the Drider.
Ooh, that's harder to move around, but yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah,
So Egleth's going to be in the...
I could miss Yuretsi and I could protect Egleth.
Yep,
Well,
okay.
from that angle,
Protect one person per level, I think it is.
would you hit both of us?
I think you would just hit one. So yeah, I think it's just I think she can protect Egleth using the Evoker ability. Yeah.
Or I like automatically succeed on the saving throw, but I'd still take half damage.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how evokers work.
Usually
As well. If it's a half damage spell on a failed save, it still protects if you choose one person.
Yeah, I think that's right. All right,
Okay,
so
I missed that, but I'll trust you.
con save.
You won't get hit.
You're
You'll
good.
be fine. It'll be
Let's
like
see.
Moses parting the sea. It just doesn't even touch
Yeah,
you.
it says
Ooh.
I've got my player's handbook, and they take no damage if they would normally take damage on a successful save. So you
Nice.
won't.
Oh,
get-
so I make a save. Okay.
So rolls a 15. What is your DC?
It says on there 14.
Okay, so makes a save, takes half of the 13, and is not pushed.
So then do I make a constitution
There you
save?
Nope, you're good.
No, you're safe.
Oh, okay.
So we hear thunder crash across the town here, this small village, and the windows and the doors shake off of this building. And we see the force impact into the drider, but is able to all 8 legs dig into the ground, and it's able to hold its place. All right. Anything else from Griselda?
Can I run, or is that my turn over?
You can still move. You do have people within melee range of you, so if you move out of that range, they get a free hit on you.
Do you still have that sweet invisible ring? Or
Yeah, I will try and run because I do have my mage armor.
Okay. Yeah, so you can move. You can move your 30 feet, and only one of them has the ability to use a reaction on you, so it'll try to swing at you when you dodge away.
Okay.
nice.
Because the other 2 are slowed and they don't get reactions. And it
Yeah.
misses. Nope. Misses as you move.
Oh.
All right. Eglith, you're up.
Toll the dead, the drider. He makes a wisdom saving throw.
Here we go.
My DC is 15. Dang it! This drider, this slow drider.
And I think Toll the Dead, it's not half damage. It's either all or none, right?
It's all or nothing. Yep.
Yeah.
So.
All right, movement or
that is
bonus?
my turn.
Okay, Blaze is
Nope,
up.
I'm good.
All right. Why, Griselda? Why? And I refuse to attack Griselda. So I'll just throw a couple of great sword swings at the big guy. Or woman, as it would be. 16?
16 miss.
All right, I'm gonna throw I'll use precise attack, one of my superiority dice for being a battle master.
Okay.
This adds to my hit. 3 does 19 hit.
It twirls its short sword in an arc just as you do that, and it uses its reaction, which is called a parry.
Yep.
Adds 3 to its AC, and no, you do not hit with that attack.
So its parry doesn't take away from damage. Its parry adds.
Its
to
parry adds 3 to its AC. Yep, on one melee attack that would have hit.
All right. Then I'll throw my second greatsword attack. And Blaze will be like, "You're good."
Yeah, this is like a true duel. Like swords are clanking off each other, armor. This is like a real master choreographed fight going on.
Very cool.
Okay. Yeah, and it, bang, clangs again.
All right, Yuretsi, top of the round, 7th round. This has been a long battle.
It only took me this long to realize that I have uncanny dodge.
Yeah,
Totally
you have lots
forgot.
of, yeah.
Totally forgot. That other hit wouldn't have hurt so much. All right, so I'm going to attack this Drider with my sneaky dagger of sneakiness.
Okay.
18.
Yes. 18 hits because it's got a -2 at the moment.
Jesus Christ. What is it, a 19? Oh my god.
It's no joke. And it takes your 21 and is still fighting strong.
Oh my gosh.
Alright. Well, I see these other guys approaching me. And Griselda's right there. I'd rather... You know what? I'm just gonna get closer to Egglith. I am gonna use... I mean, it doesn't have its reaction, right?
Correct. The slowed one does not.
Alright, so I'm just gonna move away and normally get closer to Egglith, just in case, you know, I go down.
Yeah.
Egglith's right there. Egglith's right there. And so, because of that, because I didn't have to use my reaction before I leave, I attack her with my offhand dagger.
Sure.
15 doesn't hit. That's fine.
No.
And that'll be my turn. Yeah.
All right. Infected slowly lumber forward.
One of their movements is halved.
Yeah, I still think it's enough to get there, though. Didn't move very far.
Oh, yeah.
So trying to batter our wizard once again. 2 attacks come at you. A 15 and a 5.
Okay.
So I think only the 15 would hit? Or do you have a higher...
15 is my AC at the moment.
Okay, so yeah, you'll take 5 bludgeoning, the other one won't hit.
Oh, yeah. 15 AC club.
I love mage armor. It's amazing.
Answering the questions that are rolling around in Blaze's head once again, the real Griselda, who clearly is able to read your mind, Blaze, swings at you.
All right.
These are regular attacks, though. So a 15
Clang!
and a 19.
Clang! Thanks to Eggleth's magic shield of faith.
Nice.
Yeah, so it hits that magical bubble and just like
Yeah,
bounces off.
and you hear the weird Griselda voice again and say, "How dare you? Just die!"
I want a bonus attack so bad. Kick her right in the face.
You hear the drow say some words,
Awfully.
and then
If this was my monk character, I'd be all about it.
leaves combat.
What? Okay.
In fact, will dash away. You get a free
Okay.
action attack if you wish, Blaze.
I will indeed use my reaction. Probably not enough.
15's not enough.
Okay. All right.
I need to make a save for the Drider against the slow. And that was a con save, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, still slowed. All right, is going to cast a spell. But if I cast a spell...
You have to roll below.
Oh, you have
an
to roll a
11.
d20, yeah.
Yeah, so on an 11 or higher, the spell doesn't take effect until the creature's next turn. Is going to try to cast it. Okay. So, begins to cast a spell. Let's roll a d20. we go. Oh, I was scrolled too far up. Oh, spell goes off. Okay. So let's see. I need to look this up a second.
Always a good sign.
I need to know the range.
It's gonna attack that other guy who just ran, right? Like, how dare he leave the battle?
That's right. This witch bolt or something horrible.
I need to do this. And hold down. All right. And you see black, purpley darkness erupt from the Drider, obscuring it from vision in this like 15-foot circle. One of the infected are within the darkness, the magical darkness that's been cast, as this just happens right in the center. And dark vision doesn't penetrate it.
Well, that puts a hamper on what I was going to do.
And then is going to move. But only can move half, so. We'll go.
Okay.
You see the darkness move with it.
Okay, I'm going to try another casting of Thunderwave again. In the general vicinity of these three. So
Yeah.
With the darkness, if that's possible.
Yeah, you'd still would be within that cube.
Okay.
All right, so Drider needs to make the con. Here we go. Let's try this. Nope, doesn't make it. Takes full damage. Let's make another con. Oh, wait. Oh, it's there. So 15. And then the other two. Miss. One makes it. So one you just annihilate. You just see the force of it crushing the bones and the body of the infected. The other one takes partial damage and is barely standing. All right. I think that leads us to Eglith.
Oh, geez. Boy, you put a snag in what I was going to do. I guess I can kind of loop around. I guess I'm going to jump into this magical darkness and try to swing at him with my my whip, the 9.
Right.
And I have disadvantage because I can't see, I assume.
Yes.
Okay.
You're just trying to guess where it is.
13? No.
No. Misses.
All right. That's my turn. Unless anybody needs healing. Is everybody semi-okay?
You can't see. You'd have to do it before you got into the darkness, because now you can't see
Okay.
them.
Then never mind.
You could have done it before. Brings us to Blaze.
Poor man's version of the 9s.
All right,
So-
Blaze is up.
All right. I guess I'd try to hack Griselda in 2.
No, not Griselda.
You little witch. Take this. 19.
Normally, but you see the sword twirl again and parry.
The on the Griselda has a sword. The
Yeah.
little Griselda? Okay, I thought the other one did. Okay. Well.
Oh no, you're right. I'm sorry. I was thinking the elite warrior. Let me go back to that one. This she has. No. That would hit. Yep.
Okay.
That hits that one.
Okay.
14.
And second swing.
Ooh.
16 hit.
16 is a miss.
I will spend a superiority dice. Putting it 23.
Yeah, that would hit.
Okay. And so 11 more.
And you rolled a 2
I did? Oh.
in the 11. And
Okay.
because you use a superiority, do you get the 1d8 additional for that one?
Yes. So the 2 becomes a 6. So that would be
15
okay.
plus.
And then let me make sure. On the precision attack, you need to spend a superiority after making the effect. Oh, no, it does not add extra damage.
Okay,
Just
15.
roll the hit.
still nice. Did you roll a 1 or 2 on the other one? Nope.
I don't know. I'm looking. Nope. No, I did not. So,
Nice.
so what? 29 altogether.
Okay. Barely still standing. Definitely lots of wounds on little Griselda. You monster.
I am. I feel so bad, but I know it's not her.
Oh, you don't know that.
In my heart of hearts. I hope.
All right, brings us to Yuretsi.
I use, for my bonus action, I use insightful fighting to insight check fake Griselda. So again, another charisma or deception against my insight.
Okay.
Whew, killing it with these. It's a good thing.
Yeah, beat. Yep, you won.
All right, so I'll always have advantage on her. So I will do that as I move forward with Blaze.
Yep.
And sneaky attack her for 18.
18's hit.
All right, sneaky dagger returning. Let go.
Oh, 18 piercing. God, you guys have this so
Nice.
close. Still standing.
I don't have anything else, so that is my turn. That
All right,
is
so you see the form in front of you. It changes, and now it looks like Blaze with wounds all over him as the form changes from Griselda to Blaze.
Oh.
And he yells, "How dare you!" in a creepy Blaze voice.
How dare you?
And he's going to try to run. Actually, he's yelling, "You were supposed to take me with you. You betrayed me." And then tries to run, but you both will get a attack of opportunity.
Yeah. Let me just real quickly check. No, I can't get it on that. All right, let's do this. Oh no, you're dead with you. Doesn't matter what I do.
All right. Great sword. Yeah, so Blaze, you get to describe how you kill Blaze running from you.
That's amazing.
So as the fake Blaze turns and is moving, I'm like, I never run, and I just like back of the neck, through the spine, you know, and the plate armor that I wear obviously isn't plate armor. And as it, you know, wings through, does it change into something as it dies?
Now, you see the body crash to the ground, and then from kind of as it crashes, you see a mask pop off of the creature.
Oh, snap.
Yes. Nice. Okay.
And then the
Victory!
Drow's turn.
Yeah, I guess I will say something. We have the mask.
We need to make this. Nope, still not making it. Still gonna head off.
That's one of the least sneaky ways you can just sneak off. Just shrouded in darkness when there's not a light source
Bubble.
outside. So yeah. How odd. No shadows.
All right, Drow. There we go. Griselda's turn.
I might cast hold person on the infected in front of me.
Okay.
2 out of 8, guys. It's a great number.
Yeah. Oh, I wanted to kill that Drider so bad.
I know.
And that's a con. That one's a con save, right? No, wisdom.
Hold person, wisdom.
Yeah, fails, so it is held and paralyzed.
I'll head. Can I move?
Yeah, yep.
I can. Okay. I'll move further up. That's my turn.
All right, Egglith.
Nice.
With it paralyzed, I just want to incapacitate it. I don't want to kill it. But do I need to do an attack roll?
Nope, it would be advantage. No, it's paralyzed. Well, I guess you do, but you get advantage, and it's a crit hit, but you're doing subdual damage, so it'll be okay. So, yeah, you do
let's-
roll, but it'll be with advantage.
Let's see. 13.
Yeah. Yep, you subdue.
Boom.
So,
He's subdued.
conscious on the ground.
You're just like, yeah.
Adventuring friends. What do we do? I'm gonna. How far did I move? I moved like whatever 5. Got like
Oh, yeah, it was
25
5
left.
feet. Yeah.
I'm gonna move over here and kind of look at see the mask and stuff, and be like, "Yuretsi, pick up the mask. We gotta get out of here."
Not you, Blaze.
And that's the end of my turn.
You're muted.
Without touching it.
Yeah. we
Yeah.
got that. I'm assuming we have something, right? This has been like our life's mission for a year. We have to have something just with us.
You knew from previously that as long as you pick it up, even if it's like with the edge of your cloak or anything, it's not like, and as long as you don't put it on, it seems to be the danger when somebody puts it on.
Okay. So that's a negative on anyone having just a wooden box.
Oh, I don't know. Can we have a wooden box? I didn't think about that. I've got like a backpack. We can throw it in the backpack.
Yeah.
Wrap it in a cloak and put it in your.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah, so
bad.
you're able to pick up the mask on the ground, the third and final mask. Seems to be eerily quiet in the town.
Like, should we? I'm a little bit torn. I want to get this to safety, but I mean, this town is overrun.
Do we know what's happened? What happened in the past? Do we know if the magic will subside now that we've kind of taken out the the guy?
No, you're not sure. You know the ones
not
that are
sure.
unconscious would need to be cured.
Blaze goes, "Young Sparrow," and he just sort of bolts off in his plate mail because the Drider went that direction. So
Into the darkness.
You don't have light.
Oh yes, into the darkness.
I cast light on his shield as he runs into the darkness,
Okay.
All right.
losing it on myself.
Yeah.
All right.
So he'll head down. So yeah, we're out of turn order at this point. Let's we see this scene of Blaze running south through town. You guys have the mask that you're putting into the backpack. You stare at the body of, again, now what looks to be like a villager. It matches one of the descriptions of one of the missing villagers from Saltbreak. If you remember that Virnos, the original one you defeated, he was from Edgecliff, which was the first town you had went to. But then when you had your battle in Saltbreak, 2 other people from Saltbreak had the masks on. And now you see that person that's been missing this whole time. And you know that these masks take over and possess whoever wears them.
They're like a will of their own. It's weird.
You have 2 unconscious infected bodies as Blaze heads south. Are you guys going to do anything else in the center of town?
Search the body.
Okay.
Search just to see if there's anything else on them.
Not the infected. They're pretty much townsfolk. The drow elves do have hand crossbows and short swords, and some vials of poison that they use to poison their weapons. They do not seem to carry money with them, and the creature that had the mask on seems to have no possessions on him.
All right, I'll yoink that poison, and yeah, and just go.
All right, and we'll end with the scene of Blaze rushing up to the horses that seem to be kind of milling around near each other. The reins kind of draped onto the ground, and we see no sight of our young Sparrow Locke. Does not seem to be around.
Damn it, Sparrow.
No. You know, you can hear it echo through the night.
Are the horses there?
They are.
The important part.
I bet he followed us because he doesn't listen.
Yeah, he's probably somewhere in town. Little fucker.
Probably
And
cocooned Drider food.
Yeah, after an agonizing scene of Blaze, you guys can search through the town, and what you find is that all the inhabitants had been turned. You had found none that were not infected.
And we don't have a way of uninfecting them other than Griselda's ring?
Yeah, you do have a ring of restoration, and you can cure one at a time.
With only the ring, nothing else?
Well, Eggless
Nothing
might
that you
be able
have. Maybe
Eggless
if he has a
cast
restoration.
lesser restoration. Would that
works
work?
too. Yep. Lesser
So I can
restoration.
do that 4 times. I can cure 4 villagers.
So you guys can do 5 a day. Are you willing to stay and cure the villagers?
I think I am, if you guys are. And we got to search for Sparrow.
All right,
Yeah,
so yeah,
exactly.
you
Yep,
spend
for a
a
while.
day or 2 here curing the villagers that have been infected. You find them in houses and different places. You find no sign of Sparrow Locke. You find no sign of the drows except for the ones that were killed. Yuretsi picks up on some tracks that seem to head north out of town, but is not able to follow them very far. No sign of the Drider, no sign of the other drow that had left. And it takes probably about 4 or 5 days to cure the remaining townsfolk that had survived. Many you were found slain and eaten. But you were able to save, we'll say, 4 days, so 5 times 4, 20 of the townsfolk have been cured. And then we have a solemn ride home to Saltbreak, having not found a trace of a missing young bard, as we end today's session as you triumphantly enter Saltbreak, although you have not told the townsfolk yet of what tragedy has befallen. But you do have the third mask, and you are able to secure it. And then the 3 masks are now secured and out of the world for now.
For now.
Oh no.
Oh, I feel terrible, Blaze. I told him to stay there. I'm so sorry.
No. Does
No.
Eglath actually apologize like that?
Yes, he does.
And you know, to your goddess's enjoyment, I'm like, you know, you're a Goliath. You're actually bigger than Blaze. He'll like put his head on your chest and just kind of shake his head like, this isn't how it's supposed to go. You know. So.
All right, and I think we will go ahead and end our session there. That might be, I don't know, we always say there's our session, and then we always talk and we come back and say we're going to play some more. That might be the end of this story. Maybe not. Maybe these players get together again and continue on the travels of the Salt Break Adventuring Company. Maybe they do something new in the future. Who knows? We'll see. But I want to thank everybody for joining. You can catch out the VOD out on the YouTube channel. Thank for all my great guests from YouTube and streamers. And it was great to work with you guys and have fun with you guys. I hope you enjoyed the adventure.
Always, man. Anytime.
All right, check everybody's channel out. Check us out on YouTubes and Twitches. Type in our names, Magpie Random and PB Plays Inside and Jordan and Graybeard's Tavern and SirLucien. You can find us all over the place. Look at our Twitters. We'll always be posting more games. And we'll see you in the next game. Thanks for joining. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.